The road trip rolls on for the Rock Lobsters as they roll into Port Huron for a weekend doubleheader. Athens took care of business in Motor City last night. Now they face a Prowler squad that's desperate to get away from the play-in spots. Good evening, Crustacean Nation, and welcome to McMorran Arena, where the Athens Rock Lobsters look to keep their hot streak alive against the Port Huron Prowlers. I'm Matt Rad, bringing you all the action on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Make sure you hit subscribe, like the stream, and ring the bell so you never miss a moment of Rock Lobsters hockey. Tonight's game is set, and the Piedmont-Athens Regional Pregame show kicks things off. Last night, Athens controlled the Motor City Rockers from start to finish, outshooting them 20-5 in the first period and cruising to a 4-1 win. Brandon Picard got things started. Kason Gallant extended his power play dominance, and Orca Weisblatt put the dagger in shorthanded. Even goalie Josh Rosenswag nearly got on the score sheet, hitting the post on a rare goalie goal attempt. However, there was also a big scrum late on in the contest, and we've seen some suspensions come out of it for both teams. For the Rock Lobsters, Philip Virgili will miss tonight's game for behavior last night in Motor City. Meanwhile, as you see there, Port Huron coming off a 3-2 win over Watertown. You can see the scorelines just cut off there, trying to keep you from seeing just our score bug later on instead of Port Huron's. Our apologies for that. But Port Huron coming off a 3-2 win over Watertown, though they nearly let a 3-goal lead slip away. They've really struggled to find consistency, but will try to slow down one of the FPHL's most dangerous teams tonight. Taking a look at the standings. Apologies, having trouble with our graphics here. But there they are, standings coming up. And there you see Carolina still at the top of the pack in terms of the Continental Division, but the Rock Lobsters have the game in hand to leapfrog them now as they've dropped their last two. I believe in a de facto sense they've clinched a spot in the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. Monroe can tie them on points, and that's why they're not showing the X on the Federal Hockey website. If Carolina were to never lose, rather if Monroe were to never lose another game, but even so, Carolina would have the tiebreaker on the Moccasins. For the Rock Lobsters, the magic number is down to 7 points for them. That's all they need to clinch a playoff spot over the last 15 games, and that number can get smaller with any Moccasin losses. Now let's highlight our fan saves impact players of the game. For Port Huron, keep an eye on Lucas Lackney. He has 8 points over his current 7-game point streak. For the Rock Lobsters, it's going to be Brandon Picard. Picks logged a goal and an assist in last night's game. Again, another wicked wrister for the Ice Pick. He might feel some extra motivation going up against his former team tonight. The FanSaves Impact Player segment is brought to you by FanSaves. Download the FanSaves app now and follow the Athens Rock Lobsters for exclusive digital coupons. Now it's time to take a look at tonight's Aikens Ford engine starters. It was Josh Rosenswag last night, but we've seen a balanced use of goaltenders from head coach Steve Martinson. So he goes back to William Lavalier. Carter Shinkarik is paired back up with a new man, Timur Gavrilovich. Starting up front will be Danny Glukarioff, Orca Weisblatt, and Garrett Milan. Those last two, Weisblatt and Milan, were crucial toward the win last night. They combined on the shorthand and again with an empty netter to ensure the spoils belonged to the Crustaceans. Team physician provided by Piedmont Athens Regional is Dr. Alec Graff. The Athens Rock Lobsters starting lineup is brought to you by Aikens Ford. If you're making a deal on a new Ford truck, why not deal with Georgia's biggest and best Ford dealership? That wraps up Piedmont Athens Regional Pregame Show. Piedmont, real change lives here. The Rock Lobsters looking to pinch the Prowlers. Puck drop is moments away. Stick with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
This is a replay of two games that we saw in December in Athens Rock Arena. The Rock Lobsters were able to take both of those. Well, the positive trend against teams from Michigan continue with this two-game set in Port Huron. To my knowledge, the boys were staying in a hotel in Fraser and bussed over to Port Huron. And not a far drive between the two at all, about a 45-minute trek for them. But the trek from Athens to Port Huron is quite a long one. Here's your view of McMorran Arena, which is nearly exactly 805 miles away from Athens Arena. Referees making their way on the ice, and you can already see those pink stripes deployed by the Zebras tonight. It is indeed the Stand Up to Cancer night for the Prowlers tonight. They'll be wearing special jerseys as well. Along with that comes some special numbers, but Rock Lobster fans, you might not be too familiar with their numbers anyway. So let me worry about that. We'll worry about the Rock Lobsters. For those of you just tuning in, you may not have saw on the Federal Hockey website today, Philip Virgili was suspended for his actions last night against the Rockers. So he will not partake in tonight's game, but he should be back for Sundays. Again, 3 new defensemen, and they were key to that win last night. A very, very strong defensive display. Josh Rosenzweig did not have to see a lot of shots. It wasn't until that long 5-minute power play towards the end of the game that the Rock Lobsters eventually conceded a goal. And Sage Culpepper bringing up something that was very, very exciting for me at least. Jordan Davis, recent Super Bowl champion and, of course, famous UGA Bulldog defensive player, rocking a Rock Lobsters jersey in an interview today. What a beautiful sight to see. Right now it's catching on, the crustacean disease that is sweeping the nation. No doubt, more and more people becoming aware, not only in the Classic City, but around the country, of just how cool of a team, just how talented of a team, and just how fun of a party it is at Athens Arena. Once again, we'll go over the starters for the Rock Lobsters. Back in net, William Lavalier. He's coming off 37 saves on 38 shots in the 2-1 win against Monroe. Also had a very good performance in the 4-3 shootout win on that Friday game against the Moccasins. The D-line pair of Carter Shinkarik and Timur Gavrilovich looked very, very tight last night for two guys who were playing with each other for the first time. And then the starting forward line of Orca Weisblatt, Daniil Glukaryov, and Garrett Milan. Those three have really been clicking since being put together. They practice in the green jerseys. That's why head coach Steve Martinson calls them the money line. Another late puck drop that we have here. Warm-ups got started a little bit late in McMorran Arena. So starting lineups getting read out here. We're going to take a quick commercial break coming up after this puck drop between the Port Huron Prowlers and the Athens Rock Lobsters. Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. Farmburger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard, grass-fed and grass-finished. That means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
This thing on? Perfect.
Since 1968, we've been your trusted source for home comfort. From then to now, we've evolved, but our commitment to your comfort remains unchanged. Experience the expertise that only decades of dedicated service can provide. Trust Stanfield. We've been keeping homes comfortable for over 50 years. Your comfort, our legacy. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always. Anthem has been sung here in McMorran Arena. Now all that's left is to play hockey. You see those special Stand Up to Cancer jerseys for the Port Huron Prowlers. It looks like it's going to be Reed Cooper in net tonight for the Prowlers, a 26-year-old, and a very interesting story to say the least. He signed a deal with the Washington Capitals 2 years ago after an injury to Charlie Lindgren. He did not end up playing for the team, but an interesting accolade to hang on the shelf, to say the least. They've had 3 goaltenders for a majority of the season have the Prowlers, and that's a difficult balance to have. Nusiainen, who's been very, very good for the team this year, he's been the main option in between the pipes for head coach and player and general manager Matt Graham. And there you can see the statistics on the 2 goaltenders. Reed Cooper, 4-2-3 on the year, a save percentage of 90.7, goals against average of .292. Very similar numbers between the 2 goaltenders, but William Lavalier having the Iggy when it comes to the win column. Wearing those signature white and reds that have been utilized on the road this season. Going up against the Port Huron Prowlers, who are wearing some pressed pink uniforms tonight. Both teams starting to line up here. 20 minutes on the clock for the first period. Rock Lobsters were very, very busy through the first 20 minutes last night, out shooting the Motor City Rockers 20-5. But they did not find a goal in that first period. Let's see if that changes tonight. Rock Lobsters going up against a team from Port Huron, Michigan, a long, long way from home. Let's see if they can treat McMorran Arena like a home away from home. Prowlers trying to move it up the left side, lofted into the neutral ice, batted out of midair, left circle bearing in on goal, centering pass, doesn't reach a teammate. Rock Lobsters have it away, spills away from Garrett Milan. He'll recollect off the far boards. Milan meandering into neutral ice. Pushed further ahead by Daniil Glukaryov. Matt Graham, the head coach, takes a hit for his efforts, trying to get it up the ice towards a teammate. Not a lot of fluidity thus far for either team through the first minute. Let's see if that changes here. Kyle Russell stops it at the line, whistles it around the end boards. Picked back up by Adam Oja, one of the 3 defensemen that premiered for the Rock Lobsters last night. Brandon Picard trying to unleash that wicked wrister from the right circle once again, just like he did on his goal against the win against the Rockers. Good pass out to the front. Russell misses the cage. Prowlers trying to poke it out from the corner. 5 players trying to get this puck out. The Prowlers come away with it. Lockney scores on the first shot of the game. We said he was the man to look out for, and Lockney, who has 8 points in his 6-game point streak, makes it 7 games, and he opens up the scoring against the Rock Lobsters just a little more than a minute and a half in. Tough start for the Rock Lobsters. It was really just a pinball game being played between these two teams. An opening finally emerges for Lockney and the Prowlers, and Lockney is able to poke it past Lavalier to open up the scoring. And now the Rock Lobsters playing from behind once again. They had to do that twice against the Moccasins last weekend. They were able to get wins in both of those games, however. Brendan Ronan, pass out to the left, dumped into the near corner. Alden from behind, his pass getting intercepted there by Kenny Stiles. A lot of Michigan natives in this Port Huron team, not playing too far away from home. Not a similar story for these Athens Rock Lobsters. Right there in the middle of your screen, you see Hunter Alden, the number 22 for the Athens Rock Lobsters. Athens, a far, far distance from Walla Walla, Washington. One shot in this game, and it's the one goal. Lucas Lackney. Rock Lobsters turn it over, poked away from the Prowlers, though. Weisblatt creating some pressure on the forecheck. Garrett Milan cuts out that pass. Three minutes gone in this game. Prowlers with an early lead. Carter Shinkarik dancing through the center of the ice. The Prowler right at the center of the rink. Milan, nice little dance move into the slot, loses an edge, as does his man, and from the knees, the Prowlers are able to get it out from their zone. The Rock Lobsters have conceded the first goal many times before this year, but they have never let that fact scare them, as we see the Prowlers stop this at the line. A lot of movement in the puck thus far. Both teams having difficulties trying to settle it. Prowlers trying to gain momentum out from their own zone. Lavalier tries to poke that over to Oja. Right circle shot. Lavalier has it pierced up against his collarbone, and he'll stop the clock at 15:54. Lockney, who is wearing the different number tonight, usually wears 77, wearing 17. There he is right at the top of the circle for the Prowlers, and he opened up the scoring in this game. Great pass out to the right circle. The Prowlers with a second bite of the cherry, miss wide. Trying to get free there is Thelstrom, centers a pass. One-timer, great shot, but Lavalier was unencumbered by any traffic out in front of him, and he gets it into the glove on the shot from Stiles. Stiles in his first season of pro hockey after playing 3 years of D3 puck with Northland College. The Prowlers making a switch here. The Rock Lobsters still looking for their first shot on target against Reed Cooper. Prowlers with a face-off win, but it trickles over the blue line. Lavalier stops it for Russell. Athens trying to set up behind Lavalier's net. Russell Backhand flip toward the line. Picard here on the line with Gallant and Johnson in the absence of Philip Virgili from his suspension. Cason Gallant gets free, tries a tight angle shot. Reed Cooper was hugging the post, making it difficult to find the equalizer, but the Prowlers with a one-on-run. Russell able to do enough there. One game today for the Rock Lobsters against the Prowlers. Another one tomorrow, a Sunday matinee at 3:05. Lockhart out to the left. Gets dispossessed. Rock Lobsters taking it the other way. Malik Johnson can't cast a spell on that puck. Whistled around the inboards by the Prowlers. Poked away. Rock Lobsters do a good job at winning that puck back, but possession is short-lived. Falls all the way back for Kolatarsi. On the ice here with Gavrilovich. Puts it high. Sends it out. Almost falls for Ronan, who would have been the beneficiary of it. Icing called here against the Prowlers. Lucas Lockney, the only goal so far. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
Rock Lobsters, Prowlers. Athens down early against the hometown team. Minute 36 seconds. It's all it took for Lucas Lackney to find a way past Lavalier. The Rock Lobsters comfortable playing down. If anything, that will give them a little bit more bite in the first period. We saw a lot of shots, and we see one there from the blue line go over the shoulder of Cooper. One thing that the Prowlers are able to do a little bit cleaner than Motor City last night is enter the Rock Lobster zone. And that's been difficult for Athens thus far. Hit up high there. A Rock Lobster took a spill. Game starting to get physical. Centering pass off of Cooper and into the crease. Prowlers moving it the other way. Kolatarsi can't find a teammate on the left. Icing waved off. It must have took a deflection somewhere. Reggie Millette gets cut out. Orca Weisblatt takes it in over the line. Backhand flip over to Glukaryov. Lackney trying to make the case that Glukaryov was holding his stick. Milan dashes back towards the line. His pass gets cut out by Millette. Millette leading the Prowlers towards Lavalier's cage. He stops it at the near side. Taken off of him. Weisblatt, Milan with speed, avoids the hit, but puck gets taken away from him. Sent back into the neutral ice. Shinkarik stops it with the shin. Glukaryov with a move at the line, but once again, the Prowlers making things difficult in terms of finding a route towards Cooper's cage. Mistake in their own zone. That one right past Lavalier's net. Athens getting lucky that they're not down 2-0. Curious if it's been a tricky day of travel because Rock Lobsters having to travel from one city where they played last night to a different city in Michigan. Prowlers Get the lucky bounce here from Dylan Marty. Thinks about the wraparound, doesn't see the right window to take the puck in, and it looks like the Rock Lobsters are going to be shorthanded coming up. We'll see what the call is, but right now it looks like we're going to the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Looks like we've got a hooking call on Kyle Russell. Power play for Port Huron went 0 for 3 in the game against Watertown last night. It is a hooking call against Russell. However, you take a look at the power play numbers for Port Huron, 0 for 3 last night. The Rock Lobsters did get a shorthanded goal last night. The combination of Garrett Milan and Orca Weisblatt. Milan forced the pad save, and the rebound was then buried by the killer whale. Have we put some good feelings out into the air for the Rock Lobsters? Milan gets to that puck that was deployed by Cooper. Centering pass, looking for Weisblatt. Couldn't find him. Falls back to Gavrilovich. Around the end boards, picked up by the Prowlers. Milan making life difficult for this Port Huron power play. Toe drag in the slot. Milan just misses wide right. 30 seconds into this power play, though, for Port Huron, and a vast majority has been played in their own zone. Milan takes a hit in from behind. The Prowlers getting in their own head here, though. Power play started in the Rock Lobster zone, but ever since it's made its way out, they haven't found a way back in. Trying to find some calm, cool, collected space behind Cooper's net. Enter in from the left side. Sent right back where it came from by the Rock Lobsters. This is the best penalty kill in the FPHL for a reason, killing 88.8% of penalties taken. The Leslie Jones Law penalty kill has had some strong, skilled, strategic defense. That puck that got sent into the stands took a deflection according to the officials, so no delay of game there. Apparently, that puck got sent right towards the camera well. Rock Lobsters still have yet, I was going to say to log a shot on net, but that's just been updated here, and then Lavalier gets tested once again. Literally thrown out from in front of Lavalier's cage. Pinned to these near boards. Rock Lobsters get it away. Good tenaciousness there from Malik Johnson to shave some extra seconds off, and both teams are back at even strength. The goal scorer, Lucas Lackney, steps on the brakes. This is the best that the Prowlers have looked after the power play started. Goal light came on, but the officials immediately waved it off. Millette looking dangerous once again, centering pass, cut out. Alden lofts it to Ronan. It's Milan, and he finds the back of the net. Garrett Milan with a beautiful-looking move, the toe drag to get into a dangerous spot on the ice. He scored number 30 last night. He evens things up here in McMorran Arena. Last night, Milan became just the second man in the FPHL this season to score goal number 30 in this campaign. Beautiful looking goal from Milan. Rock Lobsters have their equalizing goal. It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Super Milan who goes speeding towards Cooper and puts one in past him. Shinkarik and Brendan Ronan with the helpers. First point for Ronan in quite some time. He now has 3 points total on the year. Good passage of play here. Heinzel looking for a touch out in front. Kolatarsi getting an edge there on Jamie Bussell. Gets it taken away from him. Big hit there on the far side, but the Rock Lobsters send it the length of the ice. Icing waved off once again. Lucari off with a big hit in the corner. Then he wins the puck back. Picard sends it long. Pad saved by Cooper. It was necessary. Garrett Milan, 2 points last night. His 30th of the year was the empty netter. Things weren't getting too uncomfortable for Athens in that game after Motor City had emptied the net. But you still like to have your nerves settled. That's exactly what Milan did last night. And he seems to be that guy for the Rock Lobsters. He's the therapist that all of us cardiac crustaceans desperately need. Prowlers get it in. It's taken by Russell. Matt Graham, head coach and general manager, loses it. Johnson looking for Gallant. And an offside call going up against Athens. We're going to a commercial break. The Rock Lobsters have their equalizing goal. Let's see what happens in the rest of this period.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust Stanfield to keep you comfortable. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always. There's only one place you can deck yourself out and represent Athens' first ever pro hockey team, the Rock Lobsters. Head to shop.rocklobstershockey.com to get your hats, shirts, and even jerseys now.
Is this thing on? Perfect.
The Rock Lobsters have their game-tying goal through Garrett Milan. 9 minutes separated the two. Lucas Lackney opened things up just a minute 36 into this contest. Garrett Milan settles the nerves once again. Can the Rock Lobsters find a lead before the first intermission begins? Alden doing battle with Tristan Sim on the draw. Through the skates of Russell, picks it back up. Backhand flip to the left circle, sent up the left side. Trickles over the line. Rock Lobsters looking dangerous. Wraparound attempt. Stomped on the brakes. Alden looking for Demke out in front. Demke now throwing blows here. Referee immediately getting in the middle of that. Dion Demke and Tristan Sim. Demke, the Manitoban, and Sim, the British Columbian. .6:56 left in the first period. 1-1 game. Port Huron scored through Lackney. The Rock Lobsters through Milan. Rock Lobsters starting to play in more and more like the team that we know and love. It was a tough start to this game. Now they've evened things up in the shot on goal meter. That's level at 5-5. Demke shepherds that one down. One-timer from Ronan. A great feed from Alden. Great wherewithal there from the youngster from Walla Walla to one-time that pass towards Ronan in the right circle. Squeezing the quads and making the save is Reed Cooper. Hooked on Fantasy Football says, Mateen, how about an interview of Niven? Absolutely. Why not? Niven has been an absolute warrior for us this year. Has done so much for me here on the broadcast, done so much for the organization. We're extremely lucky to have someone who, out of the kindness of her own heart, has done so much for the team. On the other side of the ice, Shinkarik almost gets it taken away, but he's so good with his back toward anyone who's trying to press him. Dumps it in towards Milan, comes around for Glukarioff on the near side. Centering pass, no one there on the pass from Weisblatt. Lavalier stops it for the Belarusian, Timur Gavrilovich. Whistle blown. Looks like we're just seeing the afters here of an altercation. Actually, it looks like Orca Weisblatt getting escorted to the box. But so will Lucas Lackney. Let's see if we're going to have 4-on-4 action or if they're going to keep things easy at 5 apiece. No, it'll be 4-on-4. Offsetting penalties between the Rock Lobsters and the Prowlers. Lackney for a slash and Weisblatt for a slash. Johnson gets kicked out. Gallant will take his place. Johnson troubled at the far boards by Heinzel. Pushed out towards center ice. Braden Simmons-Fisher almost turns it over, trying to play a game of keep away against Kaysen Gallant. Now a little one-on-one here. Millette against Kolatarsi. How about that for the poke check for the Rock Lobsters number 4? Part of that disciplinary report was that Kolatarsi's penalty got revoked. Johnson tries to poke that away. Millette. Clever little feed out to the left side. Lavalier lets it spill, but it's not poked past him. Puck blown dead here. And it looks like it's going to be a cross check. Cross check called against Adam Oja. And the Prowlers will have some power play time. Going to a commercial break. Stick with us here. Port Huron Prowlers sending the Rock Lobsters to the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Farmburger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust Stanfield to keep you comfortable. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
William Lavalier gets run over. Taking exception to it is Adam Oja, who will send a cross check after taking exception. And that leads to the Port Huron power play. So a minute 10 of 4-on-3 power play for the Prowlers, and then it will be 50 seconds of 5-on-4 after that. Steve Martinson in an animated conversation with the official there, Jonathan Sitarski. Great quote from Steve Martinson earlier on in the year. He says, "Look, I'm always right. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right." He says that's his usual explanation against the referees. I'm sure that's how he feels here, as he'll have to watch his team on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill once again. Strong, skilled, strategic defense, that is what has led to the Rock Lobsters' top penalty kill in the FPHL this year. They're going to have to be top-notch, just like the kind of service that Leslie Jones Law gives you. If you find yourself in the sin bin, make sure you call Leslie Jones. Millette, meandering towards the slot. He finds an opening, sends one off the side of the cage. Here he is again. Gets the feed from Johnson. Exchanging places. Millette. Great feed out to the left side, but Lavalier does enough there on the shot from Tristan Sim. "20 seconds left of the 4-on-3. Alex Johnson, great passing all around, but it trickles towards Kolatarsi, pokes it away, but not all the way out. Loose pass there. Millette saves it from going over the line. Good move on Kolatarsi, taking it into the corner. Whistled it around. Now it's 5-on-4 here. The net is off its moorings here. And that'll stop the clock. Referees checking on the moorings. 40 seconds left on this power play. Adam Oja for the cross check is who remains in the box. The Rock Lobsters were able to reach 91 points last night. They're looking for 98 on the year to ensure a place in the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. And try to be the third team to clinch a playoff spot. Right now, Binghamton and Carolina have already done so. Still some power play time left. Lockhart at the line. Passes over to the right, but it spills out, and the Rock Lobsters are able to clear their ice. Picked back up by the Prowlers in the neutral zone. Five-on-4 power play has looked uncomfortable from the Prowlers thus far. They have scored on 17.8% of their power plays this year. They rank 11th out of 14 teams. 3 minutes to go in this first period. The Prowlers let the power play run out. Aoja now out of the box. Dumped off towards the line. Loose passing once again. Long lead pass towards Milan, doesn't find the superhero. That one goes down as an icing. Face-off will get sent back the length of the ice. Twice these teams met before at Athens Arena back in December. The Rock Lobsters were able to take both contests there. Currently 3-0 against teams from the state of Michigan after the win last night against the Rockers. In the battle between teams with logos that have guitars in them, the Rock Lobsters had the edge. Two teams that are jousting towards the edge of the Empire Division, the 4th and 5th spots. The Prowlers, though, with a considerable amount more points than the Rockers, they're trying to get closer towards that 3rd spot so they don't have to worry about the play-in game. Awkward bounce off the end boards. Demke, almost the beneficiary of such, trying to win it back here off of Alex Johnson. Johnson is 1 point away from 300 in his career. Trying to get that big milestone tonight. Alden takes a bite out of someone on the far side. Demke gets it over to him in the corner. Demke seeing some increased ice time here from the forward position. Puck is taken away. 4 guys don't know about it. Here's the goal scorer of Port Huron's goal. Lackney over to the right side. Pad saved by Lavalier. Stiles, a shot. Lavalier does enough. Save number 7 for Lavalier. Millette centering pass. Trickles towards the end boards. Ludwig Thelstrom with the effort. Another shot from the line. Right into the center of Lavalier. .123 left in the first period. That's the first intermission report from the Port Huron broadcast. Make sure you stay tuned here because we have our Coach's Corner that will air once again my talk with head coach Steve Martinson. Face-off won by Picard. He's seeing more time in the center position tonight. Good move from Gallant. Tries to center one back towards Johnson, who loses an edge behind Cooper's net. Move on the left side. The man from Czechia, Adam Heinzel. Simmons Fisher. Unable to find his skates. Flush on the ice. Dumped in by the Prowlers. 50 seconds to go here in this first period. Tipped in by the Rock Lobsters. Stopped by Cooper. Thelstrom towards Millette. Graham able to find the pass toward the right side for Lackney. Almost scoring his second of the game, but Lavalier catches a piece of it. Plenty of shots laid on for the Prowlers. They've crept up to 11 now. So 10 saves for Lavalier in the first period. Is there one last shot for the Rock Lobsters here? Glukaryov able to challenge Cooper. Gets a piece of it, trickles off him and toward the end boards. Very, very good opportunity through Glukaryov. Great playmaking there from Carter Shinkarik to find the Russian. Been some solid goaltending through the first 20 minutes. Face-off won by the Prowlers, and that will trickle the last few seconds off the clock here. The Port Huron Prowlers wasted no time getting themselves on the board. It was the Slovakian who's been hot as of late, Lucas Lackney, who found a way to tickle the twine past Lavalier, but there was an equalizer about 10 minutes later for the Rock Lobsters as Garrett Milan danced into a beautiful position on the ice and found a way past Reed Cooper. Well, it's been an interesting road trip thus far, to say the least, and of course it's one of the furthest we've had for the Rock Lobsters this year, currently 800-plus miles away from home. It was one of our topics of conversation with head coach Steve Martinson, also along with a very, very interesting series last weekend against the Monroe Moccasins. Here's my chat with head coach Steve Martinson, this week's Coach's Corner. The Athens Rock Lobsters are coming off of a sweep of the Monroe Moccasins this past weekend. It was a 3-game set that was typical of our games against Monroe this season, and it's a big topic of our conversation today. Matt Rad, joined by head coach Steve Martinson. Coach Marty, it was a weekend of more of the same against Monroe, fights, hits, and Rock Lobster wins. How did it feel to get 3 exciting wins at home?
Well, you know, we're playing. They're playing for the playoffs, and we're playing for first place. So, you know, both teams have a lot on the go. So, yeah, it was a competitive weekend, and and close games. It was good to be on top.
First, we'll look at Saturday's game because we talked about Friday in our last talk on Saturday morning. One of the storybook moments of our season, I think. Malik takes a nasty knock and is down on the ice for a while, helped to the bench, and then helped to the locker room in the first period. Later on that period, Malik comes back to a big cheer on the ice, scores the equalizing goal, and then the game winner. How much does his resilience and determination to get back on the ice after such a tough moment speak to his character as an individual and then the team's mindset as a whole this season?
Well, I mean, Malik's a tough guy, and I think he was worried about, I didn't speak to him exactly how it felt, but that's why it's a match. It should have been a match penalty. I mean, he not only did he stick his leg out, he kicked him. And how they missed that call, how they don't get that right, it's kind of beyond me, but he sticks his leg out, whips it forward, and that's a really dangerous play, and it's a dirty play, and we're just lucky we didn't lose a player for the rest of the season.
I thought another interesting storyline was that Houston Wilson was more than willing to play the part of villain on our ice. We talked about Houston on Saturday morning, and the team had a chance to sign him earlier on, but the interactions between him and his former Pensacola roommate, Garrett Millen, and also his former teammate, Malik, it looked like from the outside that those three weren't necessarily fast friends. Can you talk about the complexities of this game and how sometimes your old buddies are who you want to play the hardest against?
Yeah, I'm not so sure they're not friends. But he's not. When I was looking at him, I was just, it wasn't like I was looking at him as a key component. He was a depth guy that I was looking at, but the deal fell through. But he was never one of the top guys in Pensacola, like our guys. So. I just looked at him as, as Monroe is desperate to they signed another player from, I understand, from Macon today. So, they've got to win. They've got to win out really to make the playoffs. So, and they got to come here and play us 3 more times, and we want those games. So, the series, there's been some dirty stuff in the series. We had an elbow, I think it was Koch that elbowed Coach that elbowed Garcia right in the jaw. And when you slow it down, it's hard to see, but he turns and swings his arm out. And, when you slow it down, you can see it. But they missed that one too. So kind of frustrating when you lose players to injuries. And like I said, we didn't lose Malik. He came back and he was motivated and had a great series.
There's elements of the all-time series so far against Monroe that we'll talk about in a little bit. But, you have those 2 losses against Blue Ridge last week where you had opportunities to get back into the game and it just didn't happen. How did it feel to not only bounce back with those 3 wins, but to have 2 of those 3 wins feel like they really came against the odds against Monroe?
Well, did we talk about the 86 shots and the 26 missing the net? I think we talked about that.
We did.
Get shut out and we didn't shoot the puck very good. So, we were shooting the puck better. Malik was really, he couple of beautiful shots, top shelf. So, that was the difference. Obviously, we were shooting the puck better and getting scoring from not all 3 lines, but, getting a lot of scoring from obviously from Malik and Garrett. So, those guys stepped up in a big game, and now I put the lines back. I put Malik with Garrett just because I know they take cheap shots at Garrett, so that's why I kind of put that back together. But I put the lines back, for normal for this weekend.
So you go into that Sunday afternoon game, and you're able to get what was the first 1-0 lead you had of the series. Kaysen Gallant makes the Moccasins pay with his speed after a defensive lapse from Seth Bacon. You've let us in on some of the qualities that you look for in your players, but how crucial is speed and pace to how you want to play the game as a coach?
Well, like I said before, it's the way that, it's the fun way to play and the give and go and, making sure that you've got, guys in your line that understand that and aren't selfish and want to make plays. And to me, that's the way, carrying the puck and making plays is the reason we picked hockey over other sports. So, it's fun to see us do that. And Gallant, like I said before, he's been been a great addition, and he just keeps getting better and better.
Things really started to boil over between the two teams. We saw Matt Garcia get blindsided, as you mentioned earlier, by Hugo Coach. It was a huge hit. Your team started to look for redemption, and we saw what I think may be our first all-out brawl of the season. Is that something that is talked about on the bench, or do the boys see one of their own go down and just know what needs to be done? Do they need your
Yeah,
permission?
usually, they weren't talking about it, but, if they see a cheap shot, somebody comes in and then, more guys come in. And so, that's, you have to police, like if in this, and especially here, we get guys that get injured, like Orca got kicked and the guy got 2 games. That guy didn't get anything. But the guy that jumped Milan and like I said it before, I've never seen anything like that. And he got 2 games. So that's why you got to have guys in your lineup that will police things themselves, because, what do we care if a guy gets 2 or even 5 games? But if he injures Milan because he is allowed to go out and, jump him and punch him. And so, unfortunately, some of our tough guys are and one's in Monroe, one's in Cincinnati and one's in South Carolina. So I'll be kind of looking a little bit more as the guys become available from college and junior. So we might add one more forward. We can actually add 5 guys from junior and college, and we don't have to cut anybody. They don't count against the roster. So, we've got 2 defensemen coming in now and meeting us. One of them's getting in town today, and another defenseman meeting us tomorrow. So even though we had a couple of guys get hurt, we're getting a couple of guys back, a couple of new guys in.
Going to be interesting to see how the playoff roster takes shape. That game on Sunday, it started with a power play for Athens. If I understand the rule correctly, there's a rule that the horn sounds during warmups, and that's a 1-minute warning to get off the ice. If you don't get off, that's a penalty. And it just seems like an easy thing to control. And yet that's not the first time we've seen that this season. Why does this kind of stuff happen?
It's mind-boggling to me. It's just mind-boggling why players wouldn't do that. And, why you would have to have a penalty to enforce it. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me either, but it's something that they do. If a guy's off, some people like to be the last guy to get off the ice, and it's a superstitious thing. So, they're probably watching, and we've got guys going off. I don't go out and watch that part of it, but I haven't really noticed, but I'm assuming we may have a couple of guys that go off right at the end. And, some guys, to me, it's a dumb superstition. I'm okay with, the penalty because, to get off the ice, but I don't really think we need to have a penalty for that, but hell, I'll take it. I would be really, really mad. I could tell that coach was not very happy that, whoever their player was. I thought it was number 6, but then he put a different guy in the box. But I think it's because they wanted that guy coming out of the box and he wasn't killing penalties.
I don't think I've seen such a high percentage of a team's shots happen in one period. The Moccasins had 23 of their 38 shots on Sunday in the third period. How do you feel the team handled that late barrage, and what adjustments did you make to prevent them from capitalizing on those opportunities to tie the game?
Well, so by that point, we only had 3 defensemen in the lineup, and we had a forward playing D, and I thought Demke did a great job playing defense. He's been practicing at D, and I thought, it was great that we were, he was in there. But, normally we're not going to be sitting back and playing that defensive of a game. But with the lineup that we had left, we just kind of had to be careful. So, it's not my favorite way to end up a series, but one of the things that Willie is now kind of on his A game again. He started out a little bit slow because he hadn't been playing. And it's tough to be a goalie and not play and then be sharp. And he wasn't even practicing at times, so he was getting pretty frustrated. So I think we saw, the real Willie on Sunday and what he's capable of doing too. So that was a big bonus.
I know he's someone that you've already touched on twice in our last 2 talks, and you just talked on him there. But, Dion, not naturally a D-man. He hasn't had a ton of minutes this season, but he puts in a massive effort at the blue line in this past weekend. Talk about his ability to stay focused on the season as a whole and then come in and plug a spot where you need him, where he doesn't feel naturally comfortable, maybe.
Well, You know, I think maybe talk to Deanne about that. I mean, I just know that Deanne's a hardworking guy. He's in really good shape, and he's got a great attitude. And yeah, he hasn't had much opportunity this year, and he gets some opportunity at defense and steps up. And that game he was playing more and more. He played, he didn't play as much Friday night. Saturday we played him more, and then Sunday obviously he was playing a regular shift. And then by the time the third period, he was just as if he'd been back there all year. So it's a good plus because, especially now at the end of the year and we got a bunch of games coming up, you never know. I mean, we didn't get any injuries all year and all of a sudden we got a whole bunch in the last, few weeks. But the one common denominator is we're playing a lot of games.
Well, it feels like there's maybe another common denominator from the past weekend. And maybe I shouldn't ask this question, Coach, but I don't think it's any secret. I mean, for the boys, the fans, for you, is Monroe an easy team to hate?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, some of the guys that do the dirtiest stuff don't fight and don't really back up what they do. So, then they get a couple of guys that they'll bring in to kind of over, be the guy that, was going to cover for him. But, yeah, they got some Europeans too. It was the European that kicked Orca. And I thought that was, he kicked him. I mean, there's nobody that can look at that and tell me he didn't kick him. And did he mean to, cut him open the way he did? Probably not, but it was just really irresponsible play. So, I'm not in love with those guys and we'll get them, we get them 3 more games and we just got to make sure we're ready to go.
A little bit of personnel news coming into the weekend. There's been a trade for the organization. Brandon Reller has been sent to the Blue Ridge Bobcats in exchange for Belarusian D-man Timur Gavrilovich. You have some forward depth, and we have a couple of defensemen down with Knox. Is that why you feel like this is a deal you needed to make?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we may get Greco back. He's day-to-day, and Garcia's day-to-day. So I don't think, Robertson could be a much longer. And I know Murray, they're happy with Murray there. So it didn't look like we were going to get him back anytime soon. So, we added a couple of left shot D and it'll help us with our depth, and they're both big size guys and allows us to be, having the left-right D makes it sometimes a little bit easier. So tomorrow night or Friday night, we should have 3 left shot D in the lineup. First time all year.
Going to be cool to see how Timur fares in his first weekend as a Rock Lobster. Speaking of which, we go into another 3-game weekend, the Motor City Rockers on Friday and then the Port Huron Prowlers on Saturday and Sunday. This will be the lone time you play the Rockers this season. It's doubtful that changes in the playoffs. They've won only 1 of their last 10, but does that lack of familiarity, along with the fact that you will only play them once, the fact that you have to only scout this team for 1 game, make them somewhat a difficult team to prepare for?
Not really. I mean, I'll be able to watch a lot of video. I haven't watched the video yet, but we have too many transactions going on and having to find players. So I will look at their video for tomorrow while I'm traveling. I'll be looking at what they're playing and their style of play. But we really just do a few things that my phone's moving around. We'll do a few different things that, depending on what they do and, something I don't really talk about, but we'll be ready for them.
Last question for me, Coach. You're going into a weekend where you could potentially clinch a playoff spot. And with that being the case, you're going against 2 teams in the Empire Division. A lot has been made about the Empire Division this year and that it might be a weaker set of teams in comparison to the Continental. Do you believe that, or would you rather be playing Continental teams at this point to sharpen iron before the playoffs?
Yeah, we're still a long ways from the playoffs. I'm not worried about that. I'm just really concerned with our team and getting our third line scoring again, getting the new D, up to speed, getting guys back. So I really don't spend any time thinking about, I look for a couple things that they do, their set breakouts, what they do in the neutral zone, if they're doing a 1-2-2 or 2-1-2 and, those system things. But we played Graham, or we played Port Huron already, so I already know about them. The big focus on me is just getting, not on me. The focus with me is just making sure we got everybody, playing up their ability and trying to make sure that by the time playoffs come, you're doing everything the way you want the team to be doing and the way, each player and as a group. So still working on that and just getting everybody going and up to what they're all capable of doing.
Coach Marty and the Athens Rock Lobsters heading up to Michigan for a 3-game set. Coach, good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Matique.
Just hang on. Perfect.
UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
Since we opened in 1968, we've taken pride in our professional staff. Unparalleled customer service is our legacy. Experience the best, skilled hands and friendly faces. At Stanfield Air Systems, satisfaction is not just a guarantee, it's our tradition. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always. Taking a look at the stats here at the end of the first period, a 1-1 game thus far. Shots on goal in favor of the Prowlers, 11-7. But the Rock Lobsters have yet to go on the power play thus far. Let's take a quick look at the scores around the league here in the FPHL. There's some interesting ones thus far. Taking a look, Carolina looking for revenge tonight in Winston-Salem. They're up 4-1 against the Columbus River Dragons. Tied game in Danbury, 1-1 for the Hat Tricks against Venom HC. Tied game here, of course, Watertown Wolves going up against Motor City, who we saw last night. That game's tied at 1 apiece in the second period. Baton Rouge against Mississippi, that game's tied at 1 apiece. How about this? A tied game at 1 apiece between the Binghamton Black Bears and the Blue Ridge Bobcats. It'd be interesting to see if the Bobcats can beat Binghamton's long win streak that they're on currently. And then just about 20 seconds into the game in Danville, Moccasins against the Dashers. That's one that we're keeping extra special close attention on, because if the Rock Lobsters can win out here in Michigan on the rest of the weekend and the Dashers are able to defeat the Moccasins, that would put the Rock Lobsters in a clinching spot in the playoffs. But of course, Athens hungry for more. They're trying to win in the top spot. They have games at hand, and right now their destiny is in their hands as well. When you take a look at the standings, the Rock Lobsters are trying to get to the number 1 spot in the Continental Division and try to host all the way towards the finals in the playoffs. It seems likely that Binghamton would have the edge there unless something miraculous happens. But we're underway here in the middle period. Ooh, off the edge of the skate of Shinkarik, dangerous as the puck started going towards the slot in front of Lavalier. Centering pass cut out by Milan. Orca Weisblatt is trying to start playing the other way. Milan takes a hit. Puck bounces to him, though. Weisblatt protects it, gets the pass off to Shinkarik, who unleashes a shot, misses to the left. Weisblatt picks it back up, looking for a route to take. Stiff arms one defenseman, but gets taken off him, and Adam Heinzel sends it through to the left side. That one doesn't touch anything, and that's going to go down as an early icing in the first 43 seconds of this period. Adam Waters asked in the chat, how many goals does Kaysen Gallant have on the year? Right now he's on 27, but his very interesting stat, he is currently level at the top of the FPHL leaderboards for power play goals with 11 on the year. Picard, joust for the faceoff. Unable to get it. Prowlers poke it through on the left side. 2-on-1 developing. Goes to 2-on-0. Lavalier sprawls to the left. What a tremendous glove save. William Lavalier moving laterally in the crease. Puts himself in a beautiful position to make the save there on the 2-on-0. Another face-off win here. One all the way back towards Simmons Fisher. Puck behind the net. Pinned there. Battle emerging now on the near boards. Sent far by the Rock Lobsters. Here's Millette on the near side. Challenging Lavalier from in front of the blue line. Pad save from the goaltender. Malik Johnson able to find Kaysen Gallant right on the logo. Gallant with a beautiful move. Forehand, backhand. Is it swept in? Trying to make a claim that one's in the back of the net is Hunter Alden. No doubt he wants that one. And pardon me, it's actually Kyle Russell who had that rebound effort. Speaking of effort, how about that move from Kaysen Gallant? If he was able to complete that forehand, backhand move, it would have been easy for him to just pass it into the back of an open net. Puts Cooper figuratively on skates. A couple of fantastic opportunities for the Rock Lobsters at the beginning of this second period. And we're only a minute 31 into this second period. Ronan uses the skate to stop the puck. Shot from the blue line, blocked out, and that spells trouble for the Rock Lobsters. Stepped on the brakes. You got to bring the puck with you, though. Lavalier with a save. That one almost trickling over the line. Kolatarsi with a rescue effort there. Kolatarsi with the rescue mission, able to keep this game at 1-1. How about the start of this second period? Spelling that there's plenty of more action to come. Demke gets taken down. Good move right behind the net. Alden able to stop that puck from continuing to travel on the effort from Cooper. But nothing comes out of it for the Rock Lobsters. Timur Gavrilovich just eases Joel Frazee to the ice. Puck now on the end boards. 5 players there trying to claim possession for their team. It'll be the Prowlers who do so. Kolatarsi, Gavrilovich dumps it in. Kind bounce off the end boards. Gavrilovich, man from Belarus who joined the Rock Lobsters from Blue Ridge. Jamie Bussell has a shot deflected out into the far corner. Here comes the Rock Lobsters with speed the other way. Carter Shinkarik misses wide. Looks like there's a shattered stick in the mix there as well. Prowler without a twig. Milan trying to win it off. A Port Huron player. It looks like the Rock Lobsters are going to the man advantage. Lavalier to the bench. When the Prowlers touch the puck, the Rock Lobsters will go on its first power play of the night, and it looks like it's going to happen here. Had the power play goal through Kaysen Gallant last night, who shares the lead atop the FPHL leaderboards for man advantage goals with 11. He'll be the man to watch on the power play here. Paloma Park power play, if the Rock Lobsters are able to notch one on the Paloma Park power play. They will earn $3 tacos at Paloma Park for fans through the Fan Saves app. Jamie Bussell in the box for holding for 2 minutes. Let's see if the Rock Lobsters can log one, their first power play of the day. Josh Rosenzweig right there on the Rock Lobster bench, keeping a keen eye on the play here. Milan gets kicked out from over the dot. Despondent body language there as Johnson will have to take his place. Paloma Park power play starts now. Failed clearance there from Port Huron. Kaysen Gallant shatters his twig, and that gives the Prowlers a chance to clear out. Lavalier will stop it. Picked back up by Shinkarik. Speed around his net. Always looking for Milan on the man advantage. Milan dances in. Is that going to be another penalty? No, say the officials. Gallant from the line. Shinkarik, the quarterback of this power play, one-timer for Milan. Unable to hit the net. Johnson sends it back around from the near corner all the way around to Captain Fantastic. Another broken stick, the remnants thereof on the ice. Shinkarik needs a new twig as well. What's going on around here? Twigs snapping everywhere. Weisblatt trying to deal with all of those remnants of the stick. It looks like Milan accidentally stepped on one. Looking for a delay of game here, and it looks like a Prowler took a hit up high, took something up high, or at least trying to sell it. Kenny Stiles back up to a knee. And it looks like, as of right now, it's just going to be one penalty against the Prowlers. A delay of game for Port Huron and Adam Heinzel. Weird start to the power play. Right before that, we saw a shattered stick there. Uh-oh, things starting to boil over here at McMorran Arena. Weisblatt in a deep conversation with someone wearing pink socks. It must be Heinzel. Heinzel barking at Malik Johnson. So Heinzel believing that Johnson's guilty of something. We saw Johnson leave that scene there after the penalty was called against the man from Czechia. Rock Lobsters will go on the two-man advantage for 1 minute and 5 seconds. Steve Martinson has seen some difficulties with the 5-on-3 this season ever since we saw those difficulties, which we saw a lot in Monroe. He said, I'm going to try and just increase the traffic on the 5-on-3. And right now it looks like he's getting his shooters out there as well. You're seeing Picard. You're seeing Gallant. Of course, Shinkarik, always a trouble man on the power play as the quarterback for this unit. Weisblatt, he might be the one that's tasked with getting in front of Cooper and making his line of sight a little bit more blurry. Now it's a Prowler that's kicked out of the faceoff. Minute 5 of 5-on-3. Rock Lobsters looking for their first lead of the game. Shinkarik loses a handle of the puck, and the Prowler is able to get it away. Milan with speed over the line, looking at all of the open ice in front of him. Milan to Shinkarik. Millsy to Shinks. Shinkarik fakes, releasing that shot. Kaysen Gallant at a tight distance. Good movement here. Kaysen Gallant unable to get any mustard on that one and put that bun into the oven. Shinkarik over to Milan, unleashes one. That one high and wide. And now another bark off here between, looks like it's going to be Milan and Braden Simmons-Fisher. Simmons-Fisher now being escorted to the box. I believe it'll be offset. Milan also getting escorted to the sin bin. So those two will offset. Still 20 seconds left on the 5-on-3. And after that, it'll be a little less than a minute of 5-on-4. 14:54 seconds left in the second period. You're watching the Athens Rock Lobster Network. If you haven't already, make sure that you like the stream, subscribe to be a part of our chat, and also ring the bell so you can stay notified of all future streams as well as exclusive content like player interviews, coach interviews, and more. Going to a commercial break. Stay with us here. More Rock Lobster Power Play to come.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust Stanfield to keep you comfortable. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Farm Burger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you. Still time to make something happen on the 5-on-3, 20 seconds left, and there'll still be 5-on-4 time after that as well. Rock Lobsters with a chance to make something happen on the 2-man advantage, but they'll have to do it without their superstar Garrett Milan. Picard wins the faceoff to the left for Gallant. Shinkarik at the line. Gallant looking for the window. We all saw last night that Gallant not ever in fear of releasing one here, which he does, followed back up by Johnson, 2 bites of the cherry, and then it's stuck in by Weisblatt. They get their goal on the 5-on-3. Weisblatt was able to score shorthanded last night. Still solid on special teams. He scores on the power play this time around. And great timing from the Rock Lobsters as well. Weisblatt scores with 2 seconds left on the 5-on-3. That means they're able to keep themselves on the power play for another 57 seconds. Weisblatt, with his 12th of the year, 2-point night for him on Friday. And he is able to take the first lead of the game for the Rock Lobsters. Assist there came from Malik Johnson as well as Kaysen Gallant. And with that goal, the Rock Lobsters have secured fans $3 tacos for 24 hours through the FanSaves app. We have an interference call, this time going against the Rock Lobsters, and Malik Johnson will join Milan in the box. So we talked about the good timing there, and unfortunately it doesn't last. There'll be 40 seconds of 4-on-4 before a minute 20 power play starts for the Prowlers. Rock Lobsters have their lead through the killer whale, Orca Weisblatt, with a 5-on-3 goal. But the Rock Lobsters have work to do once again, 40 seconds of 4-on-4, and then we're heading back to the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. The Prowlers have been on the prowl for a power play goal in this one, but a skater loses its edge. That gives Glukarioff a chance to find the score. Puck still loose out in front. Prowlers can't get over it, but the whistle is blown anyway. Cooper got in front of a couple shots there, but didn't think there was enough in it for the whistle to be blown. Obviously, the officials disagree. We talked about how the Rock Lobsters are never in fear of letting in that first goal. They've shown that here thus far, now having their first lead of the game at 2-1. Still a lot of time left in this second period, and mind you, The second period has been quite the friendly one for the Rock Lobsters as of late. Good move in the right circle there. Luke James trying to get a shot free, unable to do so. Rock Lobsters with speed. Over the red line, over the blue line. Shinkarik loses a handle as he went backhand. But the Rock Lobsters have won it back. Shot comes from Glukaryov, misses wide. Now the Prowlers' power play starts. Rock Lobsters have to be careful here. And that's going to be an icing from the Prowlers to start their power play. One thing's for sure. The Prowlers, who started this game red hot, I mean, scoring in the first minute and a half to take the lead, they've looked mighty uncomfortable on their power play thus far. The Rock Lobsters will hope that continues to be the case here on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Prowlers win the draw. That's a good start for them. Gavrilovich lets it run, picked back up by Alden. Alden just taking it further and further into his own zone, not feeling any pressure here from the Prowlers. Weisblatt flips it to himself off the board, steps on the brakes, takes it back over the line, sends it back. Beautiful play here from the Rock Lobsters on the penalty kill. Lavalier just gets a poke on that towards Gavrilovich in the near corner. Alden with a chase on that one, but Port Huron will get there first. Alden using what is, in my opinion, one of the best forechecks on this team to try and get that puck back, but he gets edged out, getting double-teamed in the end boards. Falls back to Weisblatt. Weisblatt from the right circle gets it poked away. Kolatarsi there to help him out. But how about that? One of the most beautiful penalty kill segments that we've seen from the Rock Lobsters this year. It wasn't a full 2 minutes, but a beautiful effort from the Rock Lobsters, down a man to say the least. Backhand flipper off the end boards, bounces back towards the blue line, sent back where it came from, intercepted by Millette. His pass is loose, only finds Glukaryov. Danny dangles, a lot of speed from the Russian, unleashes the shot pad save from Cooper. Sent right back towards Cooper from the big man from Sweden, Adamoja. Unable to find one trickle past the Port Huron goaltender. Both teams will make changes. Demke getting sent out here with Picard and Gallant. Behind them is Oja and Shinkarik. Rock Lobsters now have the lead in shots on goal, as you see on your screen, 16-14. Good move from Oja right out of the draw. Backhand flip around the end boards. Jousted for between the two teams. Big hit in the corner laid by Demke. Lavalier plays it. It was an awkward bounce off the end boards. Found himself needing to deal with it and does. The Prowlers with some pressure in the Rock Lobster zone. That's been rare in the second period thus far. Picard, no look, backhand sweep towards Case and Gallant, who cast a spell on it. Adamoja lets it run. Takes care of business. Gallant, beautiful move. He's been putting on a stick handling clinic this season. Creative feed towards the slot for Picard, who sends it around for Kyle Powell. Haven't seen Powell a ton in this game thus far. Prowlers trying to find a route out. But they are feeling the pressure on the forecheck from the Rock Lobsters in this period. More fantastic stick handling. This time, Weisblatt is the author of that. Unleashes an opportunity for Alden to send the shot, but Reed Cooper able to keep the Rock Lobsters out for a potential third goal. And now we've got a fight right out in front of Cooper. Orca Weisblatt battling with Kenny Stiles. Good tie-up here with the two jerseys. Weisblatt gets the jersey over Stiles. And that'll end that fight. That fight emerged very quickly out in front of Cooper. Stiles, the native Michigander, Weisblatt will be joining Milan in the penalty box. I believe Milan should be getting out of that sin bin there imminently. Doesn't appear so yet. It was a 10-minute unsportsmanlike conduct. 1 for Milan, 2 for the Prowlers. Alex Johnson and Luke James took 10-minute penalties. So we should be able to see Milan back for the last 5 minutes of this second period. We saw that affair between the two earlier on, but I didn't think it necessitated a 10-minute penalty. Rock Lobsters now have the edge in shots on goal. We just saw Orca Weisblatt drop the gloves with Kenny Stiles. Linesman here on the draw has been a Stifler in this left-hand circle from the perspective of Reed Cooper. Russell has it bounced down, shepherds it towards Johnson in neutral ice. Rock Lobsters were offsides, picked up by Lucas Lackney. Rock Lobsters win it back. Alden trying to get it through the skates towards Gavrilovich, unable to do so, and Alden slow back up to his feet, but he gets there. Better here from the Prowlers. Head coach, general manager Matt Graham unable to find the clean pass. Alden with a hit, and then Johnson with a hit. Becoming more and more physical here in Port Huron. Millette behind Cooper, emerging out to the left. Reaching for that one to try and grab it out of midair was Shinkarik. An icing called against Port Huron once again. We're going to a commercial break. Stay tuned with us here. Rock Lobsters lead 2-1. UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
Back here at McMorran Arena, far 805 miles away from Aikens Ford. Taking a look at the penalty summary, it looks like there was a total of 7 minutes issued to both Adam Heinzel and Orca Weisblatt, both called for cross-checking and then fighting. Stephen Self asking if there was a game misconduct for Orca Weisblatt. There was not, but it was a game misconduct earlier on. Not a game misconduct, just a regular misconduct earlier on for Garrett Milan, as well as Alex Johnson and Luke James. 2 goals in this one for the Rock Lobsters. Garrett Milan from Shinkarik and Ronan, Weisblatt from Johnson and Gallant. Rock Lobsters looking dangerous out of the face-off. Glukaryov was trying to drag it through a Prowler. Rock Lobsters offside. They'll have to try to regather. Adam Oja gliding around his net, looking for his partner Kolatarsi. Glukaryov trying to get away from the pressure here. Uses the glove to grab that out of midair. Ends up turning it over, but there to sweep up any mess is Adam Oja. He'll end up giving it back to the Prowlers, dumped in by Port Huron. Lavalier gets it in the trapezoid. Gallant found on the far side. Feels a little bit of touch in the back of his jersey. able to get the pass off. Patient here from Port Huron. Federley up the boards. Dangerous play there for Port Huron, but they're able to make away with it. An unfortunate trip there puts the stop to that attack from the Prowlers, and then Brendan Ronan with a great effort to win that puck back opened things up for Picard. It was a hopeful shot from the line that was wide on Cooper. I think that puck was stepped on. Either that or the ice. Maybe not too great here at McMorran Arena, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt as I'm here in the home office. Shinkarik shepherding that puck down like a toddler. Like the puck's a toddler, not Shinkarik, just so we're clear. Gavrilovic a shot, looking for his first as a Rock Lobster. Looking for his first on the year as well. The Belarusian with 8 points, all assists. Part of 3 new defensemen that joined the team, whose first games were all last night. Kyle Powell, Adam Ozia, and Timur Gavrilovic. Rock Lobsters gliding through the offensive zone, keep winning pucks back in dangerous areas. Shot from the blue line, wide of the mark from Ozia. Malik Johnson from the left circle. Beautiful feed from Hunter Alden. Hunter Alden has had some fantastic playmaking in this game thus far. Unfortunately for him, hasn't had anything to show for it. The fans in the chat recently have really been hungry, as has Alden himself, to see his first goal as a Rock Lobster this year. 11 points on the year for Alden. Alden was looking for the between-the-legs pass towards Johnson. We described it beautifully last night. Someone described it beautifully in the chat last night. Alden, he does all of the small things so well. He might not have the flashy game, doesn't score a lot of the goals, but so important to how this Rock Lobster team operates. Sent back in from the point. Johnson around for Shinkarik. Gavrilovic gets caught up. Alden down to a knee playing defense. Millette, a shot gets blocked off him and sent long, but right at Cooper, so no icing. Millette carries it in. Beautiful centering feed. No look pass, and maybe he should have looked. Lavalier can't get to that one. There was no touch there on the puck, but it looks like they've blown it dead for an offside. Tristan Sim never touched it. That's the argument right now from the Prowlers. Wonder how difficult it is for this Prowlers team, because there is some presence on the bench, but your head coach out on the ice with you. I wonder if that's more of a help or a hindrance. Kolatarsi, a little bit of trickery from him, and a Prowler bites on it hard and returns to the bench. Ozia almost loses his handle, gets it back, breezes through a check, but it's sent away from him. Picked back up by Kolatarsi. Edging towards the last 5 minutes of this middle period, where the Rock Lobsters have taken their lead through Orca Weisblatt on the power play. Glukariov, a great move to his forehand, but gets taken down to the ice. Athens out for a change. Stopped by Picard. Sent back around, no one there on the other side waiting for it. Picard using his body to win it back for Athens. 5 minutes to go in the second period. Shinkarik, an incisive pass, took a deflection, negating the icing. Gallant trying to bat that out of midair, but it does eventually fall for Kyle Powell. Long-range bank pass picked back up by Picard, who finds Ronan right at the center of the blue line. Falls to the near side of the ice for the Port Huron goal scorer, who logged one a minute and a half. Is there another one here for Port Huron? Good entry, but the resulting pass wasn't what the doctor ordered. Johnson unable to brush that into his path, but he has it back. Pinballing around, falling down for Millette. Poke check from Shinkarik freed things up. Millette through the skates of a Rock Lobster defenseman. Long-range shot, trying to tie things up. Lavalier gets the oven mitt over it. .347 to go, another commercial break. More action coming up here on the Rock Lobster Network. Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. There's only one place you can deck yourself out and represent Athens' first ever pro hockey team, the Rock Lobsters. Head to shop.rocklobstershockey.com to get your hats, shirts, and even jerseys now.
Since 1968, we've been your trusted source for home comfort. From then to now, we've evolved, but our commitment to your comfort remains unchanged. Experience the expertise that only decades of dedicated service can provide. Trust Stanfield. We've been keeping homes comfortable for over 50 years. Your comfort, our legacy. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Less than 4 minutes to go in this second period. I thought we would have seen Milan back in the mix by now, and that's exactly what we see. Milan will take this face-off. Rock Lobsters missing his presence ever since that misconduct ticking on earlier on in the game. Great turnover forced by Daniil Glukaryov. Danny dangles towards the net. Forehand, backhand. How did that one miss? Something will come of it for the Rock Lobsters, though, as Daniil Glukaryov was impeded illegally, and the Rock Lobsters are heading back to the Paloma Park power play. Looks like the two who fought earlier are getting ready to get out of the box themselves. Weisblatt, as well as Kenny Stiles. Brett Lockhart going to the box, trying to stop Daniil Glukaryov from going hot and heavy towards Cooper's net any way he can. He potentially stopped the goal, but will he stop another power play goal here? A lot of mind games in this face-off circle tonight. Port Huron able to win it, send it the length of the ice. Milan, evasive at the line, but couldn't get away from the defensive pressure. Lavalier leaves it. Shinkarik always there to pick it up and always looking for Milan. Milan lets it run, able to get it towards the end boards. Port Huron one-timing it towards the line, picked back up by Athens. Glukaryov loses it in the skate, and it's batted away from him. Lavalier helping it towards Shinkarik. Already 50 seconds off of this man advantage. have already earned $3 tacos at Paloma Park. Shinkarik, Milan, trying to create a window to shoot into using their passing. Glukaryov back to Milan. Milan riding the line, poked away from him. It was a fine line indeed. And Milan is now taking a penalty. There might be a little bit more penalties to come here. Right at the meeting of the two benches, perhaps causing things to spill over even more. Milan apparently pulling the stick out of head coach, general manager, and player Matt Graham's hands. And Milan back to the penalty box where he just recently spent quite a bit of time. Holding the stick penalty for Milan. Shots on goal now in favor of the Rock Lobsters, 21-16, but let's see if that changes here. Weisblatt has been allowed out of the box. That means Kenny Stiles will be as well. .48 seconds of 4-on-4, and then about a minute 12 of Port Huron power play. And that'll be essentially how we end this second period. Rock Lobsters with the face-off win, courtesy of Brandon Picard. Tarsi gets it cut out, though, centering pass. Believe it was Gavrilovich who got in front of that. Tarsi loses an edge. Jousting around in the near side corner, back to the line. Marty with a high slot shot. Lavalier gets the glove towards the throat, makes the save. Long range pass. Can something be cooked here by the Rock Lobsters? But the pot is slammed shut on Gallant. Loose passing once again after the zone entry from Port Huron. 4-on-4 coming to an end, and now the Prowlers are officially on the man advantage. Weisblatt loses it, finds it once again, loses it, doesn't find it the second time around. Minute power play, minute 22 in regulation here, rather in the second period. Millette looking pensive over the line, getting it there. Right now, the Port Huron Prowlers have had a difficult time setting up shop in the Rock Lobster zone on the power play. Looking for a power play goal here. Lavalier watches it go over the bar. Millette in the corner. Great feed out to the right side. And Lackney gets stuffed from a great position from scoring his second of the game. Tremendous save from Lavalier. Once again, we saw one at the beginning of this period. We see another one with less than a minute to go. .57 seconds is all that remains here in the middle period. Shinkarik almost gets it taken away from him by Alex Johnson, two of the highest scoring defensemen in this league. Lockney scored to open this game. 2 unanswered goals from Athens ever since. Whistled around the rink. Batted away by Oja. Stuck in the corner by Millette. Stopped at the line. Sent back in. Alden. Poked away from Oja by Graham. Stopped at the line once again. Shot hits a Prowler up high. Alden was looking for the skip pass towards Milan, who was fresh out the box. Freezing time will be Cooper. Great wherewithal there from Alden, knowing that Milan was emerging out of the box. Lobster tails coming up. in the second intermission. We saw Orca Weisblatt score in this game, following up a 1-goal, 1-assist effort last night. We'll hear his beautiful and inspiring story once again in the second intermission. Milan wins the draw. Is there one last shot for the Rock Lobsters in this period? Shinkarik has one bang off the glass behind Cooper. Dumped in by the Prowlers, but they can't make anything out of it. And that will end action in the second. Let's take a quick look at what's going on around the FPHL before we hear our lobster tale from Orca Weisblatt. Carolina still firmly in the lead against the Columbus River Dragons as they look to firmly secure a spot in the playoffs tonight. I believe they already have, but the FPHL website has not confirmed that yet. The Danbury Hat-Tricks up 3-2 in their hometown against Venom HC in the second period. The Rock Lobsters take a 2-1 lead into the second intermission. The Watertown Wolves looking for redemption in Michigan as they have a 2-1 lead against the Motor City Rockers. Baton Rouge up 3-1 against the bottom team in the Continental Division. How about this? The Binghamton Black Bears tied at 2-2 with the Blue Ridge Bobcats. And unfortunately, we won't have the inspiring story in the Dashers town of Danville. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that way, at least, as they are down 3-0 against Monroe. Well, we talked about Orca Weisblatt. He scored in this one a great follow-up with a goal and assist last night. He had a beautiful shorthanded goal following up on an effort from Garrett Milan, and has a power play goal in this one. So very good on the special teams is Orca Weisblatt. Shorthanded yesterday, scores on the power play today. But the Orca Weisblatt story is definitely not one that you hear every day. There's the information for tomorrow's game. We'll be here at 3:05 for the Sunday matinee. But in the meantime, we'll have a third period to play tonight. Before that, how about you listen to the amazing story of Orca Weisblatt? Voice of the Rock Lobsters, Mattine Rad, back with another episode of Lobster Tales here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. My guest today is a winger from Calgary, and his name is Orca Weisblatt. Orca, thanks so much for joining me today, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Listen, I wanted to get started with your season so far, and you've contributed at a high level in your time on the ice with the Rock Lobsters this season. Watching you as much as I have, you have such an all-around game, and you don't have a lot of chinks in your armor. No one knows your game as much as you. How would you describe your style of play?
Yeah, I think, I play a little bit of a different game than most people. I like to kind of slow the game down just a little bit. I like to think the game very, very well. I think for me, I'm more of a playmaker. So obviously, when you're playing with Millsy and Danny there, they can put the puck in the net. So it's fun for me to, be creative with my play style.
It's been so great to see you back on the ice after suffering an injury earlier on in the year against Monroe. Can you talk about the injury you sustained and what the recovery process looked like for you after surgery?
Yeah, for me, that sucked, obviously. Last year I broke my ankle, so, 2 injuries back-to-back is never fun. Wrist is feeling good. Obviously, it was a process to get, the strength back and whatnot. But I feel good. With it being your top hand, you don't realize how much, you use your wrist and whatnot. But, I've adjusted to it, and I feel good.
You had a difficult injury last season, as you just mentioned as well, when you were with the Pensacola Ice Flyers in the SP. I know it seems like those days are behind you with, the injury this year and the injury last year, but, how did you handle things and how frustrating was it since you left the WHL? Because it seems like it's been very sort of start-stop for you.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into it. Stopped playing for about 3 years just to, I had some family issues back home and whatnot. So I had to take care of some of that stuff. And then, 4 games in last year, snapped my ankle. That's no fun too. So for me, I'm just trying to stay healthy, take care of my body, making sure that I show up every day in practice or in games, just to keep, my body healthy enough to, not be hurt or, not take any risk on any injuries or whatnot. I take advantage of Chris quite a bit. So, usually in the training room, kind of getting my body worked on, after every game or after every practice, just, just so I don't, get back into those, injuries.
There's no doubt to me, Oryx, you have one of the most interesting stories in all of hockey. And the heroine of that story is your mother, Kim. For those who may be unaware, you grew up a coda or a child of a deaf adult. And she never let any of that get in the way of providing for you or your 4 siblings. What are your favorite qualities about your mother, and what inspires you about how she brought you, your brothers, and your sister up?
Yeah, one of a kind. Coolest mom out there. More than just, her personality. She's such a caring mom. She puts everything into, making us happy. She puts us first. She's a hero for sure. She we couldn't be doing what we do now without her. So that's kind of, one of the reasons why I call her a couple times a day just to check in, see how she's doing and whatnot. But yeah, she's put aside everything, just to make sure that we're all taken care of, on the ice or off the ice. Such a caring mom, and yeah, she's the best.
I think being a child of a deaf adult, it's difficult for people like me who had an upbringing with hearing parents to kind of put myself in those kinds of shoes. I was curious, what was your first communications as a baby like? Did you happen to remember what your first signed word was? And then do you remember what your first spoken word was?
I think my first signed one was milk. So just milk. I think that was pretty easy for me, but I learned sign language before I even learned English. And all the boys, the way that we learned English was, watching TV. Obviously, our parents can't speak. So for us, it's kind of just TV. It's a little bit different than most kids out there, but, we found a way to kind of get through it. And, yeah.
It's a topic that I've also talked about with your brother, Ocean, who also played for the team this year. He experienced all the same nuances, but just a little bit before you did. How helpful was it to have someone who was hearing able to guide you through the early stages of a life that not many other people know the ins and outs of?
You're talking about Ocean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. He was the biggest role model. He was kind of like the dad in the family. Obviously, my parents split up while we were pretty young. I think I was 10, 11. And Osh was kind of, that dad role model of the family, kind of just protecting us and whatnot. Super, super protective brother. But, at the end of the day, not many people have that. So I'm super thankful for that. It was kind of just, to be honest with you, when we were younger, it was kind of just him and my mom. Kind of just, helping out with the family, making sure everything's taken care of. If something goes down, Osh is usually there, translating with my mom at, a school or the grocery store, wherever. My mom's, she's good with that stuff. But for us, we're hearing, so we're always trying to kind of get in there and make sure that we can help out as much as we can. But, yeah, Osh was usually that, that one guy who took everything on his shoulders and kind of just, he was a dad role model.
For those who haven't watched it, there's a great Hometown Heroes segment, little 5-6 minute segment about you and your family. And something that I saw in that was that your mother put you and your brothers in sports to expand your ability to communicate and socialize. Do you believe that had its intended effect? And what else do you think sports taught you outside of the household?
Yeah, I think sports just gives me confidence. Without sports, I really don't know what, I'd be doing. I played so many different sports growing up: baseball, soccer, hockey, football, kind of just everything. And, for me, I feel like you make the best friends from playing sports. All my best buddies I've played with or played against. just kind of that culture of, people who play sports, you kind of get that lingo or whatnot. So for me, obviously it was huge. Not really sure what I'd be doing without, playing hockey or, back home, I usually play softball in the summertime and, a lot of golf and whatnot. But sports is, don't know what I'd be doing without it.
A large portion of the hockey community is familiar with the Weisblatt boys. You, Ocean, your brother Ozzy, and we'll talk more about him, and also Oasis. 4 brothers that all play hockey, but someone who gets lost in the mix, and probably a lot of that has to do with her young age, is your sister, Oceania. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Oceania.
Yeah.
Has she shown some of the same interest in sports, or maybe even hockey specifically?
She hates it. She hates it. She had to, go to the rink and watch all 4 boys play her entire life, so she hates it. But she's a sporty girl though. She's a very active girl. She's more into like horseback riding and all that kind of stuff. Hockey's the no-go for her though. She'll never strap on the boots. She'll never hockey's not for her, but she loves horses. She loves all that kind of stuff. It's more her. She's more of a girly, obviously, 4 boys. We're pretty protective too, so I don't think she'll be finding a boyfriend anytime soon.
I was going to say 4 hockey playing brothers. She must be the safest girl in Calgary, huh?
Yeah, you should. My little brother Oasis, he's a little Rottweiler in our family. He's the obviously just because he's closest to her age, but it's fun. It's we got such a fun family. Summertime's so much fun. I just saw my mom for the first time in a year and a half, obviously, when I went down to go see Oz. And that was just the best thing ever. She's in London, Ontario right now. So summertimes I spend it in usually in Calgary or Vancouver. So I don't get to spend too much time with her. She moved out, I think, 2 years ago. So seeing her for the first time was awesome.
When I first met you and your brother Ocean, and knowing kind of the trend among your name, I mean, obviously Ozzy bucks that trend, but Oceania, Ocean, Orca, Oasis, all sort of, let's say nautical themed names. What was the inspiration from your mother to go that route? Do you know?
I think she's just she's a big time hippie. We were born in Bowen Island. So basically it's just kind of just right off of Vancouver. It's just a little island. We had a house kind of just on the ocean. So for me, apparently she's seen, orca whales all the time. So that's why she named me Orca. Ocean was just because of the ocean. Ozzy, I have no idea. I think Ozzy Osbourne, the singer. Oasis, no idea. And then Oceania is just spelt, it's ocean with an I and an A at the end. So not really sure what the background from that is, but I get that question quite a bit and I just never know how to answer it.
That brings us to the next topic, which is your brother Ozzy, who made his NHL debut with the Nashville Predators right at the start of the new year. No doubt there's a great feeling in your heart seeing a Weisblatt make it to the show, but I want to know if it feels like a fruition of everyone's hard work, from your mom to you and Ocean, who kind of paved the way, or do you view it as something that he accomplished completely on his own?
I think it was just him. Obviously growing up, we trained so hard together, but, at the end of the day, the way that guy works is just, it's night and day. Just, it's so special to see how hard that guy trains. Summertime, he's in the gym. If he's not in the gym, he's taking care of his body. If he's not he's always doing something. So, as much as I want to take credit, it's all his hard work and, his passion for the game. And, when you love something so much, you don't really like to do anything else. And, that's kind of him. He just hockey. So, couldn't be more proud for him.
I saw the behind the scenes footage of the post game after his NHL debut, and he gets recognized by Steven Stamkos. Did you get a chance to ask him what that was like? Because Stammer must be someone that I'm sure you and your brothers all looked up to as young guys.
Yeah, not even just him. I spent a little bit of time with a couple of those Nashville guys, and so many good guys. Stammer, that was pretty cool. Obviously, I talked to him a little bit after that, and he said that was probably the coolest moment, he's ever been a part of. But there's probably 6, 7 great leaders on that team. So for him to just be in that locker room, he feels so special, and he's got all the help that he needs around him. And then the way that guy is he's not shy to kind of ask for questions. He's not shy on how can I do this better? How can I do this? And he's always I think he's close enough with those guys where he's open to kind of having those conversations on how he can help his game. But yeah, that was a really, really cool moment.
You were coming off the last couple of weeks of your injury when you went back home to go watch Ozzy play. How much of that was a boost in your engine to really want to get back going on the ice and getting back to doing what you love?
Yeah. I mean, I was off for about 2 months. So, watching our games, it's, I love watching our games. That's why, I was on the bench for a little bit, just to kind of, read how other players are playing, read on, how some of the players on our team are playing, and how I can kind of, try and make myself, put an impact on myself on, how I can improve myself out there, and, what we need as a team and whatnot. Yeah, so that was definitely put some fire in the engine. Obviously first game back, I was so pumped to even play, and, not even just coming back for the first game, but in Monroe, like that's where I got hurt. So, I was just fired up. I wanted to play good. I wanted to help the team win. That was definitely an impact on, how I performed the first game.
Something that I'm sure also added some gas to your tank back in the day was playing against your brothers back in the WHL days. Is it difficult not to focus on what they're doing on the ice when you're playing against them and focus on yourself, or are you wanting to get the better of your flesh and blood?
It's a good question. So Ozzy and Oasis were a little bit different. I grew up kind of just playing with Ocean most of my life. Obviously, he's a year older than me, so I was always kind of up a level playing with them. Playing against Ozzy, that was super, super cool. So that was, Ozzy and me are a little bit more competitive just because he's a little bit younger than me. So I was kind of giving it to him that game. Oasis, on the other hand, he's my little baby brother. So I was a little scared to kind of, go hard on him. Not scared, but, I wanted to make sure that he looked good too. So obviously completely different playing Oasis and Ozzy. Ozzy was a little bit more physical on, he can take it. Now Oasis, he's a beast. He fights, he scores goals, makes plays. He's, I wouldn't fight him now. So I'm glad I went easy on him when I played him.
No doubt, can't wait to see what becomes of your younger brothers' hockey careers that are still blossoming. Back to your career, and it was interesting that the first line that Coach Martinson ever puts out is a combination of you, Garrett Milan, and Malik Johnson, 3 guys that all know each other from the Pensy days. How poetic did it feel to get on the ice with this new team, but have 2 guys that you know very well in the center and the other side of you?
Yeah, I mean, 2 great hockey players. Different hockey players, but, start with Mallow. Mallow is he's such a good hockey player. He might not be flashy, but he does everything right. He works so hard. Smart hockey player too. Extremely physical, not a player you kind of want to play against. Millsy, super, super skilled. Fun playing with him. Me and him kind of, especially now we're on a line, that chemistry that we have, it's pretty good, especially when we're both kind of buzzing some games. I don't feel my best, but, I try to contribute somehow. But Millsy, he's such a complete hockey player as well, where I trust him when I'm deep in the zone, where he's a little bit back, where if I make a mistake, I know that he's going to cover me, or vice versa. If he makes a mistake, I try and cover him. Two great hockey players, though.
Well, Orca, talking to you about you and your story has been one of my favorite chats of the year thus far. Thanks so much for taking the time, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
Farmburger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you. Back here at McMorran Arena, the Rock Lobsters have a 2-1 lead. They were able to find their first advantage of the game at the 5:25 mark. The Rock Lobsters went on the Paloma Park power play, and Orca Weisblatt was able to put a loose puck past Reed Cooper. Rock Lobsters have the advantage going into the final 20. We'll see if they're able to keep it that way. Take a look at the scores around the FPHL. Currently at the federalhockey.com website, still 4-1 lead for Carolina over Columbus. Danbury Hat-Trick's 3-2 lead in the second period over Venom HC. Tied game at 2 apiece. Watertown Wolves and the Motor City Rockers. Baton Rouge and Mississippi Seawolves, that game's getting close. A 3-2 lead for Baton Rouge. How about this? The Blue Ridge Bobcats with a 3-2 edge over the Black Bears. Could that winning streak be coming to an end? And then the Dashers have the unfortunate placement right now, down 4 goals against the Monroe Moccasins. Go into the third period, 20 minutes to put on the clock, and we'll see if things get interesting late on here. Just a slight edge. The Rock Lobsters would feel a lot more comfortable if they were able to get another goal in this one. Just saw the 4th goal getting scored in that Monroe Dashers game. So it seems like the hopes of the Rock Lobsters securing the playoffs will not happen this weekend, but still looking for a 3-game sweep in Michigan. The Rock Lobsters and the Prowlers are underway here in the third period, a 2-1 advantage for the good guys. Won't be done after this one. We'll be back here in McMorran Arena at 3:05. Millette taking it back into his own zone, a safe space. Sent in. Glukarioff trying to take it away from a Prowler in the far corner. Shots on goal were a lot more favorable for the Rock Lobsters in the second period. They now lead that category 23-18. Dumped back in by the Prowlers. Lavalier helps it towards Shinkarik. Colatarsi behind Lavalier. Shinkarik on the near side. We talked about that 3-2 lead for the Blue Ridge Bobcats against the Binghamton Black Bears as we see Cooper keep that one out. How about this, folks? In Blue Ridge, scoring to make it 2-1 earlier on in that game, the first Blue Ridge goal for Brandon Reller. Glad to see Reller having a good time over there, potentially ending Binghamton's longtime winning streak. Prowlers trying to escape their own zone, but it's not been a pretty start to the third period for them. Send it long. Everybody trying to find the puck, and even the camera. Dumped in. That one spills out towards the slot. Would have been danger, but it looks like that one's going down as an icing as the Rock Lobsters won the foot race. Already 2 minutes and 12 seconds gone. Prowlers win the draw in their defensive zone, take the puck away. Another icing called against the Prowlers. Sloppy start to the third for them. But it's sloppy enough that they've kept the puck away from Athens at the same time, though. Kolatarsi with a shot gets blocked out. Whistled around the end boards. Kolatarsi dumps it back in. Stiles trying to get there ahead of Alden and Ronan. Kolatarsi getting himself in good position. Shot came from Demke, misses to the left. Puck pinned to these near boards. Kyle Powell gets it away, gets it right back at him from Kolatarsi. Powell. Rock Lobsters trying to generate some momentum out of their own zone. Dumped in. Demke chasing two Prowlers in the trapezoid. Sent long by the Prowlers once again, and that'll be yet another icing here. Another offensive zone face-off after the Port Huron icing. I believe that's already icing number 3 or 4 of this third period. Rock Lobsters come away with the win on the draw. Pass rides the line to Shinkarik. Shinkarik, evasive as ever, sends a shot, misses wide right, put back towards that crease by Milan. Pad save from Cooper. Best opportunity for either team in the opening minutes of the third period. Long-range pass, a big hit on the far side. Glove over that from Cooper. Things have continued to heat up between these two teams, and that is despite the fact that we've already seen a fight in this one between Orca Weisblatt and Kenny Stiles. Feels like offensive zone face-off number 18 for the Rock Lobsters at the start of this period. Picard sweeps it back towards the line. Shot unleashed by Russell. Blocked out by some Port Huron bodies. Good hit there from Oja, but things still free for the Prowlers. Johnson lets it run. It's a small, smart move. Oja feeling presence in behind from Sim. Johnson bank pass to the Swede. Something about Johnson, he has good chemistry with those Swedish players, but it's Johnson who ends up giving the puck away at center ice, taken back away by the Rock Lobsters. Dumped in hard off the end boards by Picard. The ice pick would be hungry for a goal against his old team, the Prowlers. Spent 20-plus games with Port Huron last year. Good poke check from Russell on Stiles. That puck was heading towards Stiles in a dangerous area right in front of Lavalier's net. Puck movement around the far side. Shot came batted away by Lavalier. Tight angle shot. Creative effort from Heinzel, but Lavalier was able to watch it the whole way. And this time it's the Rock Lobsters who commit the icing. We go to a commercial break here. Stay tuned with us here. Nothing doing just yet in the first 5 minutes and 10 seconds.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust Stanfield to keep you comfortable. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
There's only one place you can deck yourself out and represent Athens' first ever pro hockey team, the Rock Lobsters. Head to shop.rocklobstershockey.com to get your hats, shirts, and even jerseys now. Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. 2-1 game here in McMorran Arena. Once again, we are a long ways away from home. McMorran Arena exactly 804.8 miles away from Aikens Ford Arena. Still some time before we're back in that beautiful place. It'll be next Sunday. The Rock Lobsters return against the Blue Ridge Bobcats. That game taking place at 6:05 p.m. Make sure you buy your tickets now. Swept away by Gallant. Out of their own end, the Prowlers can't get it away. Picard from Johnson drops back down. Shinkarik across the line. Nobody there to pick that one up. Let's see if the Prowlers can make anything of it. Left circle presence there from Thelstrom. Can't direct any effort towards Lavalier. Looks like Cooper unsure there if he wanted to cover him. After a second thought, he freezes the clock with 14:07 to go. It looks like we've got a penalty upcoming here against the Prowlers. It appears to be the goal scorer, Lucas Lackney, the Slovakian forward who is being sent to the sin bin. And it sounds like it's going to go down as a delay of game. Another power play for the Rock Lobsters. And it's now underway. Cooper gets a piece of it, sent long by the Prowlers, picked back up by Milan right in front of the Prowler bench. Things open up after Milan takes the hit. Gallant draws back for the shot, loses the handle. Weisblatt drops it back, shot wide from Glukaryov. Glukaryov had a tremendous effort earlier on in this game. Evolved to Danny Dangles, but went backhand. Lost just enough of a handle to deprive himself of the goal. Casey Gallant looking for a beautiful highlight reel effort himself. Gets poked away from him and sent the length of the ice. Here he is again. Looking for Glukaryov with a centering pass. Trickles in off the end boards. Weisblatt can't keep it in. Minute to go here. Gallant steps into the zone. Beautiful backhander, but 3 Prowlers there to stop its trajectory and sent out of the offensive zone. CK9130 asking, are we going to have playoff games at Athens Rock Arena? Definitely feels that way right now. The Rock Lobsters should have at least some, even if they stay in the number 2 spot in the Continental Division, if they go up against the number 3 team in the division. But the Rock Lobsters trying hard to get to that number 1 spot in the Continental. Right now they have the games at hand to try and get the points over Carolina where they currently stand. Looking uncomfortable here is the power play from the Rock Lobsters, kind of mirroring what we've seen from Port Huron in this game. Not much happening there for Athens. Big wipeout in behind from Port Huron. Athens trying to make lemons out of lemonade. Oja avoids the hit, takes another, still has the puck, taken away, poking it into Demke. Demke down to his knees, gets the pass off. Trying to whip a shot in there towards Cooper was Garrett Milan. Dumped around by Port Huron. Picked up by Millette on the near side. Ronan with a check-in behind him. Lackney, goal scorer trying to turn playmaker. From his knees, Lackney with a great effort. Lavalier out of his crease, trying to get anything on that puck. Back in the safe zone, but are the Rock Lobsters safe? A big blocked shot there from Milan, and that one hurt the right leg. Save from Lavalier. Milan can't bat it out of midair, but Milan has it. Good to see him skating on his own free will. A big high hit there. No call on Demke. And then Demke trying to get in the mix in. Demke's going to go to the box for getting involved with Alex Johnson. Demke frustrated that the penalty wasn't called for him, and probably even more frustrated that it's getting called against him. Power play coming for the Prowlers, and right now they're hoping that it will look better than it has in the game thus far. We're going to a commercial break. Coming up after this, the man advantage for the Prowlers. Actually, it looks like we're going to stay here. Prowlers power play has not been what they've wanted it to be thus far. The Rock Lobsters are one place above the Prowlers in the FPHL when it comes to power play, but they have about 2% more percentage earned as we see an effort deflect wide there on Lavalier. 17.8% on the power play for the Prowlers and 20% even coming into this game for the Rock Lobsters. Half a minute gone on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Pretty passing at the line. Stopped at the line. Shot comes. Spills out to the left. Opportunity still there, and the Prowlers have their equalizer. They're finally able to cook something up on the power play. We'll see who comes towards the Port Huron bench to celebrate. Calamity out in front of Lavalier's net, and then the rebound is stuck in. How about Lucas Lackney, who scores his second of the game? He has been by far the hottest Prowler of the season thus far. Scored his 12th goal of the season earlier today, and now he has number 13 on the year. 27 points in 20 games this season for the Slovakian. Kyle Russell back for the Rock Lobsters. Finds Galan on the right side. Dropped down by the glove of Milan. Prowlers can't dump it in thanks to the intervention from Russell. Rock Lobsters able to do so on the other side. Picard from the left circle. The ice pick whistles it around for Russell. Tight angle shot, loose out in front for Gallant. Second bite of the cherry for Russell. Deflects out right off the goal line on the far corner. Frustrating for the Rock Lobsters, that call, which may be a controversial one against Dion Demke, as Russell looking for a deflection out in front. Frozen there by Cooper. Initial shot came in from Russell. Gallant waiting out on the welcome mat. Going to a commercial break. We've got an interesting game here in McMorran Arena. 9:07 left, and it's tied at 2-2. UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
The Prowlers have made things interesting here in Port Huron. Second goal of the game for Lackney, and he ties things up at 2 apiece. Port Huron Prowlers trying to get on 70 points if they're able to win this one. The Rock Lobsters trying to edge ever closer to securing the playoffs. Taking a look at the Federal Hockey website, Lucas Lackney from Matt Graham. The second time that those two have combined tonight. Right at the point on the power play where there is about a half of this period to go in regulation. Weisblatt here on the draw, and he wins it back to Powell. Shot comes from Powell, tricks out to the right. Weisblatt picks it up, gets double team, sent back around by Picard. Weisblatt has it back. Powell whistling around. Johnson. No look flip towards Picard. Intercepted by the Prowlers. Powell stops it in its tracks, sends it towards the Port Huron blue line, dumped in by the Prowlers. 8.5 minutes to go in regulation. Tossed in by Athens. Weisblatt trying to chase it down. Big hit there laid by Johnson on the head coach for Port Huron, Matt Graham. Rock Lobsters, a breakaway through Malik Johnson, takes a huge hit up high, and it looks like the Rock Lobsters will have a power play at a crucial moment of this game. Almost a scary moment there, was just waiting for Malik Johnson to get back up to his feet. Back to the quadruple P. as Brett Lockhart is going back to the sin bin. He's a repeat offender on the day. It's going to be great to have Milan on the power play this time around. Penalty kill has been lackluster for Port Huron this season as well, killing less than 80% of penalties this year. They rank 9th out of 14 teams. But they're able to clear in the initial seconds of this man advantage. The Rock Lobsters looking potentially for a late winner here. Shinkarik enters cleanly, left over center. Shot comes wide. Picked back up by Milan on the right side. Back to Weisblatt. Weisblatt fakes the shot, goes into the right circle, passes it off for Milan. Shinkarik lets one loose off the end boards. Malik Johnson tries to stick it in on the near side, frozen by Cooper. That shot came so quickly off the end boards back towards Johnson. Good wherewithal there from Reed Cooper, the Saskatchewan native. He's a former NCAA D3 Commonwealth Coast Conference Goalie of the Year. Players gathering around the official there. Prowlers making a change of their unit. Could it be the PPG that ends up being the GWG in this game? Power play goal, could it be the game winner? Milan wins it over to Gallant. Gallant getting tied up on the near boards, trying to shake it free towards Weisblatt, and he does. Weisblatt looking for an option, finds Malik Johnson on the far side. Johnson sends it back towards that far corner, finds Weisblatt. Weisblatt meandering around, right circle. Right behind it is Garrett Milan. Back to Shinkarik, whiffs on the pass. Prowlers get it away. Picked back up by Captain Fantastic in the near side circle out of his own zone. Pass comes off the leg there of Federley, the Port Huron captain. Milan, toe drag. Can't get past the Port Huron head coach Graham. Not clean in the neutral zone thus far from the Rock Lobsters. Chipped in by Weisblatt. Sent all the way down. There might be one last rush in this man advantage. Shinkarik taking his time before finding Hunter Alden, who joins the power play here. Sweeps it back. Shot came from Kolatarsi. Picard prompts a great stop from Cooper. A heroic one that might have just kept Port Huron in this game. And now the Prowlers can skate with 5 skaters on the ice. Adam Oja behind Lavalier's net, looking for the skip pass, looking for any kind of deflection at the line, but it falls favorably here. Glukarioff with a backhander right into the glove of Cooper. It's getting down to the midnight hour here. Rock Lobsters now knotted up with the Port Huron Prowlers at 2-2. (31-24) the shots on goal here. Shinkarik couldn't collect it off the far boards. Rock Lobsters looking for another penalty, not going to be granted one by the Zebras, the Pink Zebras tonight. Lucas Lackney, he's on a hat trick watch right now. Batted towards him. Picked up by Millette, sent back to the line. Long-range effort, not a lot of mustard on it. Might spring Milan the other way, a little 3-on-2. Drops the pass, shot comes, but deflected to the left by Ronan. Cooper has to cover again. Another scrum right out in front of the crease. Looking for a decider in this one. Will it come in regulation? You have to start asking that question. Face-off will happen right to the right of Cooper from his perspective. Johnson with Picard and Gallant. Looks like it's Gavrilovich and Shinkarik. Picard, clean face-off win against his former team. Shot set long from the left side of the point. Picard trying to get it back in his good graces. Johnson trying to use his body to win it back. Kicked by Shinkarik, but right out of Prowler. Bank pass, picked back up by Port Huron in neutral ice. Sent back in, picked up by Shinkarik. Working right to left. Johnson right back to his captain. Shinkarik meanders over, looking for a long distance effort into the glove of Cooper, trying to send his team the other way. Here they come off the glove of Lavalier, the shot from the left side. Picard with a poke check wins it back. Johnson in the slot gets it taken away from him. Much better effort here from the Prowlers in the third period. That one almost falls right in front of Stiles. Stiles able to get it back. Prowlers keep it in, but Weisblatt has some freedom and some free ice in front of him. Weisblatt loses a handle. Kolatarski takes it in, but he's offside. We're going to the timeout. 3:57 left in regulation. Are we going to find a winner before we go to the dreaded O word? We'll find out.
Farmburger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you.
Since we opened in 1968, we've taken pride in our professional staff. Unparalleled customer service is our legacy. Experience the best, skilled hands and friendly faces. At Stanfield Air Systems, satisfaction is not just a guarantee, it's our tradition. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Less than 4 minutes to go in regulation here. The Rock Lobsters looking for a winner to secure 3 points. Otherwise, we're going to the O word that makes Rock Lobster fans, the Crustacean Nation, wriggle in their chairs. Milan against Graham, the two veterans of these two teams, on the face-off. Weisblatt towards Glukaryov. Can't shake a shot free. Able to pin his man into the corner. Weisblatt finishing his check as usual on the end boards. Glukaryov trying to fend off 2 or 3 here. Picked up behind Cooper. The Prowlers trying to send a long pass. Getting in behind there is Millette, but Adamoja with some good recovery. Pulling it out of that scrum there in the far corner is Weisblatt. Stopped at the line. We've seen a lot better pressure here from the Prowlers in this third period. They've been able to tie things up because of it. Blocked away towards Kolatarski. Kolatarski, risky pass came off the netting behind Lavalier. Going to go down as an icing. Reed Cooper gets his request granted. .254 left in regulation here. And look, we have to start talking about the dreaded O word. Right now, the Rock Lobsters 10-2 in free hockey periods this year. Port Huron Prowlers are 5-6. It's getting down to crunch time. Rock Lobsters have played out of all 3 periods the most in their own zone out of the 3. Weisblatt with a great blocked shot there from Stiles. Kolatarsi has been on every loose puck, it feels like, throughout this game. Dumped in by Weisblatt. Check by Gavrilovich at the line. That'll send Glukaryov the other way. Glukaryov steps on the brakes, U-turns, pass in behind him. Gavrilovich unleashes a shot. Another glove save from Cooper. Strongest period of the night thus far. Rock Lobsters leading the shots on goal tally in this period 11-7. You see the game tally in the upper left-hand corner, 35-25. They have the edge as well. So once again, they've been able to make the Port Huron goaltender the busier one, a 2-on-1 developing, but the Prowlers unable to take the puck with him. And then Brandon Picard able to seek blood out in the water. Shot comes from the right circle. Glove save from Lavalier. These 2 goaltenders keeping their teams in this one late on. 1:47 to go. Both teams desperate and hungry to try and find a winner. Two young goaltenders in their mid-20s doing a great job at keeping this scoreline where it is. Rock Lobsters win the draw. Crucial in their own zone. Gallant with a beautiful pass out to the left side. Alden throws on the emergency brake. Johnson lets it run into the corner. Prowlers, a one-time bat, stopped by Shinkarik. Alden gets it into the zone, playing here with Johnson and Gallant. Gallant free out in the slot. Can he fire a shot towards Cooper? It gets blocked from a short range. Gallant looked like he was nursing something quick there before heading to the bench. Maybe he just lost the stick. Needing to make the change, a great centering pass from the Prowlers, and we are in the last minute of play here. Is there a buzzer beater here for the Rock Lobsters? Glukaryov trying to get free, finds Kolatarsi at the line. Milan fakes the shot, sends the pass looking for Kolatarsi. Anything to tip it past Cooper. He's not going to find it. Lucas Lackney, who's on the hat trick, takes the hip check from Weisblatt. Milan takes it away. There might be one last rush for either one of these teams. Lockhart back into his own zone. And an icing here called in the last 26 seconds of this game. So an offensive zone face-off. For the Rock Lobsters, as we are getting as close as you possibly can to overtime. How about that? 26 seconds left. We'll try the reverse jinx, but Steve Martinson is going to try and draw something up here and call the timeout. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. Could be a crucial 26 seconds for the Athens Rock Lobsters. Do we have a buzzer beater awaiting us in this one? We'll find out after this.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust Stanfield to keep you comfortable. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
There's only one place you can deck yourself out and represent Athens' first ever pro hockey team, the Rock Lobsters. Head to shop.rocklobstershockey.com to get your hats, shirts, and even jerseys now. It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always.
Is there a winner in regulation for the Rock Lobsters here? Face off to the right of Cooper. Milan will take it. Steve Martinson has put out his top unit, but they cannot win the face-off. Still might be some light at the end of the tunnel The Prowlers get it turned over on them, but they win it right back through Kenny Stiles. They'll take it over the line, looking for a buzzer beater of their own. 13 seconds to go. Millette around the end board, stopped by Stiles. Rock Lobsters have it away here. Skip pass towards the line. Rock Lobsters send it into the zone. No icing, and we are going to overtime. Reed Cooper with 32 saves in this game for the second straight night. It has been the goaltender that plays for the Michigan outfit that has been the busier man. We're going to go to a commercial break. Coming up after this, we got free hockey. We know it's dreaded, but the Rock Lobsters looking for 2 points now instead of 3.
Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living.
Taking a look here at the overtime records, and I don't think this is right. Perhaps this is without shootouts being under consideration. But as you can see, one thing is for sure, the Rock Lobsters have been the stronger team in the overtime period. Rock Lobsters and the Prowlers will skate 3 skaters apiece here. Rock Lobsters have one of the 3 best 3-man units in the league. It's Carter Shinkarik, Garrett Milan, and whoever Steve Martinson decides to send out there with him. We'll see who it's going to be. Looks like it's going to be Daniil Glukaryov. No other team this year has secured more points in overtime than the Athens Rock Lobsters. William Lavalier trying to stay at a perfect 6-0 as a member of this Rock Lobster team. He was crucial in overtime last weekend against the Monroe Moccasins. Because of him, that game went to a shootout, and he stopped all 3 shootout shots from Monroe. Milan with Shinkarik and Glukaryov. Looks like it's going to be Graham, Lackney, and Millette. Milan able to edge out Graham. Trying to set things up in their own end of the Rock Lobsters. Milan stomps on the gas pedal. Drags it to the left circle. Shot released by Glukaryov, but presence out in front keeps it out. Lucas Lackney trying to secure the hat trick in the overtime period. Lavalier with 2 consecutive saves. Tries to sweep it out from in between his legs, but the clock will stop at 4:34. So we'll see a new 3-man unit out there for both teams. Looks like it's going to be Johnson, Weisblatt, and the new man, Adamosia. Federley, Bissell, and Adam Johnson. Face-off won by the Rock Lobsters. Oja in behind Lavalier's net. Both teams looking for a winner in overtime hockey. Centering pass from Orca Weisblatt, unable to find Johnson. Prowlers with speed the other way. Millette with a toe drag. Good save there from Lavalier. Still loose out in front. Turnaround shot is into the netting. That was a dangerous-looking opportunity for the Prowlers with just a little less than a minute gone in the overtime period. Here's another look for Steve Martinson. Picard, Gallant, and Russell. 3 youngsters, 3 good shots. Russell Takes it away from the faceoff. Gallant trying to be evasive in the trapezoid. Prowlers getting a double team on Gallant there. Minute gone in overtime. Picard has it come down off his gear. Picard able to win it back. Right circle shot. We saw him score from that area yesterday. Not going to tickle the twine there against Cooper. Good bravery there from Cooper to just stand tall as Gallant was heading towards the far post. Milan Shinkarik back out on the ice. Daniil Glukaryov joining them. The Rock Lobsters trying to get in better defensive positions here as the Prowlers have the puck out of the faceoff. Toenail save there from Lavalier. Shinkarik trying to poke it out of the corner. Gets into the back of Federley. Lockhart not able to find an option. He goes all the way back for Bussell. Two minutes gone in overtime. Johnson, the defenseman with a left circle shot. William Lavalier. Not enough pace on that to make him feel uncomfortable making the glove save. Seen a couple shots taken by Alex Johnson in this 5 minutes of overtime. Defensive zone faceoff, won by the Prowlers. Shot doesn't emerge, but Millette able to keep it. But for how long? Kolatarsi out of midair towards Johnson, taken away by the Prowlers. Kolatarsi looking tenacious, brought down to the ice there by Alex Johnson. Got the stick up high there, did the Prowlers on Kolatarsi. Going to be a high stick called there against Alex Johnson, trying to state his case. Referees don't want to hear it. And a large portion of what remains of this game will be played with a Rock Lobster power play. Power play has been crucial to this game. The Rock Lobsters were able to take a 2-1 lead earlier on through Orca Weisblatt on the man advantage. Could the 4-on-3 man advantage lead to the win here? Both teams have already earned a point, but who will earn two? Shinkarik stops it at the line. Milan lets one go. Block shot. Adam Heinzel hurting from that one, but he has to stay on his feet. Kaysen Gallant swallowing that one up as Cooper. Good movement, but a really good effort there from Adam Heinzel, who returns to the bench after hurting from that block shot. Great second effort as well to get back up to his feet, knowing that he can't stay on the ice and just leave the Prowlers with two men with 4 Rock Lobsters. Athens wins the draw once again. Shinkarik lets one loose. Gallant out of midair, back to Captain Fantastic. Now it's Kaysen Gallant's turn. Prowlers doing a great job at getting in front of these Rock Lobster shots, and they're going to be able to get the puck away now. Just dump it in, and we'll go off for the change with the Prowlers. Minute 15 to go on the power play. A little less than 2 minutes left in the overtime period. Milan back to Shinkarik. Everyone looking for an opening, creating one with great passing. Too hard of a pass from Gallant past Milan. The Prowlers will collect and send it right at Lavalier. Milan shepherds that puck in, dances towards the slot. Emerging now at the blue line on the left side. No, Shinkarik is behind him. Shinkarik looking at the edge of the red line. Shinkarik in the high slot. Shot deflected out into the netting. Best effort from the Prowlers in this game has potentially come here on this late penalty kill. And they've kept the Rock Lobsters out thus far. Will that remain a fact with the remaining 30 seconds of this Paloma Park power play? They have an extra timeout in overtime, and Steve Martinson will use it. We're going to a commercial break here. The Rock Lobsters looking for a winner on the man advantage. Will it come, or is the shootout beckoning? A reminder that this broadcast of the Athens Rock Lobsters is brought to you by Piedmont Athens Regional. Real change lives here. Aikens Ford is the largest Ford dealership in Georgia. If you're going to trust anyone, why not trust the biggest and the best? Stanfield Air Systems, we've spent the last 50 years fulfilling Athens' HVAC needs. First American Bank and Trust, we specialize in you. And Terrapin Beer Company, do the right thing always. Minute 5 to go left in the overtime period. If we don't find a winner here, we're going to the shootout. And now we're up to 300 viewers on the stream. If you haven't already, make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the Athens Rock Lobsters so you can get in on our chat. It's become world famous at this point. And make sure you ring that bell to stay notified of all future streams as well as exclusive content, including interviews with head coach Steve Martinson, with the Rock Lobster players, and highlight reels, of course. Big face-off win from Milan. He gets the puck back at the blue line. Slapper gets deflected out to the right. Glukaryov picks it back up. Got to stick up high on someone. Completely incidental. Great feed from Glukaryov, but it spills past Milan. Is there a potential act of heroism here for Simmons Fisher to score shorthanded? Looks like it's not going to happen, but the Rock Lobster power play is over. They'll skate at 4-on-4 now. Weisblatt from Milan gets edged out, and the Prowlers take it away. Oja with a couple poke checks, gets it towards center ice. Feed comes right back at him from Weisblatt. Is there one last rush here? Shinkarik. The speedy skates of Shinkarik. Finds a pass out to the left side. Dangerous play there from Athens, but no hat trick going to happen there from Lackney as we go into the shootout, tied at 2 apiece. We'll bring out the shootout format here on the broadcast. Something that's going to be interesting here, and maybe it's written in the stars against the Rock Lobsters. The player who's potentially been the best shootout guy for head coach Steve Martinson this year has been Philip Virgili, who was suspended for just this game for his actions last night. He was crucial in the shootout win last Friday against the Monroe Moccasins. He had the one goal as Lavalier, who was between the sticks, was able to stop all 3 Monroe efforts. Lavalier will have to stand just as tall here, but who's going to do the shooting for the Rock Lobsters? Going to be interesting to see who head coach Steve Martinson deploys. Lavalier has still yet to been defeated in his short time as a start of his life as a Rock Lobster. Looks like the first to shoot will be the captain. Captain Fantastic looking to pull something fantastic from out under his cape. Goes forehand, backhand, but can't trick Cooper. Rock Lobsters put out their captain. The Prowlers will answer with their own. The Port Huron native, Austin Federley. Federley pensive towards center ice, working his way out to the right. From the end boards, right circle, releases a shot and scores. Drew Lavalier out with his patience and is able to find the far side from the right. Advantage Port Huron after the first round. Kason Gallant will be the next shooter for the Rock Lobsters. He gets himself into the left circle. The Red Deer Rocket looking to go 5-hole, and Cooper slams the door shut. A chance for the Prowlers to take the majority of the spoils, and Reggie Millette, the Floridian, a little bit of flair from him. He'll take the biscuit away at center ice. Taking a long route towards Lavalier, but on the backhand, he's unable to push it towards the top shelf. Chance here for the Rock Lobsters to stay alive. You have to think it's going to be Garrett Milan here, or is there going to be a surprise? Not a surprise when you need someone that is comfortable with a game being out on the blade of their stick. You send out Garrett Milan. Reed Cooper has stopped the 2 Rock Lobster shots thus far. Milan from the right to the slot. Gets stopped by the poke check of Cooper. Milan can't complete the move to the backhand, and the Prowlers gather around their goaltender, who is in large part the reason that the Prowlers have taken 2 points out of this game. Not good news here in McMorran Arena as the Prowlers will take the win in the shootout. Rock Lobsters earn a point, but the edge is given to the Prowlers. Of course, the Rock Lobsters will look for redemption tomorrow afternoon, a game here in McMorran Arena, a Sunday matinee that will take place. Puck will drop at 3:05. First Michigan team to beat the Rock Lobsters will go to the Prowlers. It happens in their third meeting between these two teams. Lucas Lackney, no doubt, a big part of this win for the Prowlers. 2 goals in this one. Him and Graham combined twice. We'll take a look at who the 3 stars were going to be for this game. I'll take a close look at that. But let's take a look quickly at the scores around the league. Game between Carolina and Columbus has gone final. The Thunderbirds win 4-1. The Danbury Hat Tricks tied with Venom HC at 4 apiece. The Motor City Rockers defeat the Watertown Wolves 3-2. And it looks like the Mississippi Seawolves have won in overtime against the Blue Ridge Zydeco. And if that wasn't exciting enough, it looks like the 18-game winning streak is coming to an end. The Blue Ridge Bobcats up 4-2 against Binghamton. A little less than 8 minutes to go in that one. Well, fans, thank you for tuning in tonight here for the broadcast. Athens Rock Lobsters get edged out by the Port Huron Prowlers. They take it 3-2 in the shootout. They earn 2 points compared to the Rock Lobsters 1, and that will send the magic number to 6 points that are needed in the remaining 14 games now. Things still looking comfortable for Athens as they try to get a playoff spot secured, and it looks like Carolina was able to do that tonight with a regulation win against the Columbus River Dragons. Rock Lobsters still have a chance to make it a pretty comfortable weekend if they're able to secure a regulation win against the Prowlers tomorrow afternoon. We'll be here on the broadcast on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. That game dropping the puck at 3:05. Keep an eye out for the rest of these scores throughout the FPHL, though. Some interesting ones still going on, but this one is all done and dusted. The Prowlers win in the shootout. Let's take a closer look at this game and see who's going to go down as the 3 stars of the night. And in terms of accumulation, unfortunately, I think they might all be Prowlers on the day. Taking a look at the accumulation of points. Third star of the night will be the lone Rock Lobster. It's going to be someone who scored a big-time goal and continued on from a great performance yesterday. Orca Weisblatt will be the lone star of the night for the Rock Lobsters. He gets the 3rd spot. Second star of the night will be the goaltender, Reed Cooper. Some big-time saves in the shootout and kept his team in it throughout the overtime. Remember that big power play for the Rock Lobsters late on. They couldn't find a way past Cooper. And then the first star of the night, he scored the 2 goals in regulation for the Prowlers. Lucas Lackney, the Slovakian, has been red hot. The Rock Lobsters are going to have to try and find a way to stop him tomorrow afternoon in McMorran Arena. That does it for the broadcast here. Matt Rad sending you the feed from this game. The Rock Lobsters fall in shootout 3-2 against the Port Huron Prowlers. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon. The Rock Lobsters looking for a revenge win in the Sunday afternoon game. Thank you for joining us here. Rock Lobsters lose in the shootout. We'll see you next time.